barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, showers and a chance of thunderstorms. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be into the low 70s north, upper 70s south. Later on tonight, we will see clouds, a chance of showers, and a few storms. Our overnight lows will drop down mid to upper 50s, and Wednesday, sunshine mid to upper 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grain Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in...
Watches it get out of here. Gackle sets and deals. He struck him out swinging. And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Just a little bit more difficult to get up today, not because of the 3-day weekend, but because of what the weather was like over this 3-day weekend. It's great to be with you. Good morning to everybody on this Monday-ish kind of a Tuesday on Halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. I'm Phil Elson, my partner Matt Jones, and Kristen Johnston in the producer's chair. We were going to get summer at some point, boys. At some point, it will stop raining, and we'll get those 90 to 95-degree days. I just don't know when it's going to happen yet. It hasn't stopped raining outside my window in pretty much the last, feels like 36 to 40 hours. So I woke up today, and I probably could have put myself right back to sleep without any effort whatsoever. But, Matt, since there's a Fayetteville Regional coming up on Friday, and since, you know, we are kind of paid to do this on a daily basis, and this is not a federal holiday, I dragged my lazy butt out of bed so I could talk with you today. Aren't you lucky?
Hey, happy Tuesday. Right, it does kind of feel like a Monday. Hope everybody had a good holiday. You had the end of the Premier League this season. Liverpool was champs. Basketball is heating up, man. You get a Game 4, New York at Indy tonight. It looks like OKC kind of did what they have to do last night, getting past Minnesota. But, man, what a fun weekend for sport. You get the Champions League final Saturday, 2 o'clock, PSG versus Inter. And then, like you said, let's go baseball.
Is it the final? Is it like the real final, or is this an aggregate start, or is it going to lead the winner, lead to something else?
It could be a super regional.
Okay.
Maybe a regional with the chance to host a super if you get lucky and don't lose. But it doesn't matter, I guess, if you lose the first game of the SEC tournament.
That's a good. Yeah, well, that was an ugly game, really. So that lost to Ole Miss. Look, there's a ton to get to here. You get softball losing in the super regionals, unfortunately, for the third time at home in the last 5 years. Ole Miss, the team that knocked him out. You get the Fayetteville Regional to preview. The rest of the field is 64. Carter Knox is going to be a Razorback next year, and all of that to get to. So, I mean, here's what we got for a Tuesday. We've moved Alyssa Orange to the first hour on Tuesdays. So now we have Clay Henry starting at 12 noon until 2 o'clock. Alyssa will join us at 11:30 this morning. Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio 115. So that's what we got laid out in front of you. Hogs will go into the postseason with what felt like their second worst game of the year against Ole Miss in the quarterfinals of the tournament on Friday. Now, I don't think that game meant very much, and the pitchers did well. And you look at Zach Root's line, and he allowed 5 runs all in the first inning, but none of those runs should have scored. Guy got 2 double play ground balls in the first inning. They didn't turn any of them. So, I always say you got to be able to find a way to get 4 outs sometimes if you're a pitcher, but I don't think you really should be prepared to try to get 5 or 6 outs in an inning, because really, even if you turn one of those 2 double plays, we're talking about a completely different ball game. But that one and the LSU run rule loss were the 2 worst games of the year, I thought, just because it didn't look like those were the Razorbacks that were wearing the uniforms on Friday. Vahiba Aloy boots a routine double play ball in the second play of the game, and that pretty much was all she wrote. Didn't have really good at-bats, and I thought, there was some throwaway at-bats. So I don't know if it was a matter that guys in the back of their minds knew that game didn't mean anything in the grand scheme of the postseason, but it felt sometimes like it might have played like it. So now you just got to get past that. I don't like the idea, Matt, of one game in a 2-week period, because that's kind of what you got. You played on a Saturday against Tennessee, and then you don't play again until a Friday, and then you lose that game, and you got to wait another week. So it's 13 days. I guess it's 12 days, one game. I don't like that at all. I know that there's a couple days off for the team, and you get back to practice and routines and everything, but I think I would have liked to see them just compete more than just the one game going into a postseason, in which it's all about competing. So now it's like flip the switch, but I do think they're the more talented team in this regional.
How will they do any live ball scrimmaging? Will they actually go out there and throw to try to stay sharp?
My guess is at least the pitchers that would have pitched Saturday, and if you would have gone to a championship game Sunday, would get some kind of live hitting to pitch to. But it would be their own guys. And I'm pretty sure it rained in Northwest Arkansas all weekend long, so if they did it, it wasn't going to be outdoors. It would have been inside the Fowler Center, or maybe just inside the pitching tunnel in the Hunt Center. So it won't have any of that same kind of feel. I'd have thought, like, if you had good weather and you got to get home on a Saturday and you're not playing again until Friday, like, organize another team. I don't know, get a high school all-star team together and play them at Palm Walker, because I just felt like it would have been a good idea to play another team that's not wearing the same uniform. But, that's really just kind of picking at it a little bit, because there's nobody that is showing up in Fayetteville this weekend that is any better than any of the teams that are set into the NCAA tournament out of the SEC. 13 of them that have made it into the NCAA tournament. I don't really think that. Maybe you could say Kansas might be better than Kentucky, might be better than Mississippi State in the overall season, but in terms of talent, I just don't think that the Hogs are facing a team that's anywhere close in the talent level that they have faced throughout this year. So, look, I'm not here predicting they're going to go 3-0 in this regional, because they were the more talented team, I think, in last year's regional. This is a more talented team this year than last year, and I don't think that there's another TCU or Kansas State in this field. But then again, I didn't think Kansas State was TCU last year, and you know what? They weren't. They weren't, because all they did was win the regional, and then they end up losing 2 in a row to, I don't remember who it was that knocked him out. So this is a better team, I think, than we've seen the last 2 years in terms of Arkansas's talent. They have the same SEC record, and pretty much, I think, the same national seed as last year? Were they 3 or 5 last year? I don't remember. There's really not that much of a difference between 3 and 5. So I would have liked to see them play more. I would have liked to see them play better on Friday. And the thing that stands out more than anything, Matt, is that the guy who's the main reason why the last time Arkansas and Ole Miss played, and for me, the guy who was the big difference when Arkansas played Vanderbilt, and one of the big differences between Arkansas and every other team that they've played this year is who's at shortstop. And it isn't necessarily what he does at the plate. It's what he does in the field, Vahiba Aloy. And you are going to have a bad play every once in a while. But the error that he made on the double play ball to get 2 batters into the game Friday was about his worst error of the year. It's only the 5th he's made all season, and could have been charged for 2 errors on that play. 1 for booting the grounder, and 2 for the bad decision to throw it, and then he threw it errantly, and it led to two bases for the guys. So, look, the SEC Player of the Year is allowed to have a bad game. And he had a bad game. He had a couple of strikeouts. It didn't look like he saw the pitches very well. But that's not going to be what Vahiva Aloy plays like this weekend. That's just not that I would not expect. But anybody out there, even the biggest skeptic of Arkansas baseball, think that the guy who is potentially not only the SEC Player of the Year, but maybe the best shortstop ever to play at Arkansas. He's the only all-SEC first-teamer at Arkansas, and he's going to be a first-round draft choice. He very well may be the best shortstop that's ever played at Arkansas. You think he's going to have another game like that? I don't. Not against a North Dakota State team that's one of, I think, 2 or 3 teams that's sub-500 overall, and not against a Kansas team that has some pitching, has some power, but it's hit and miss both ways, and not against a Creighton team that has to keep games into about the 3 to 4 run range if they're going to win. I think Arkansas's field looks really good for this weekend. I'm not worried about it at all. Is anybody else worried about it? I want to know. 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive hotline. And if you are worried about it, tell me why. What makes you nervous about this regional? Is it anything that's happened the last 2 years? Because if that's what it's about, I need better reasons. I need better reasons than curse, or it happened the last 2 years, or Dave can't win the big one, or any of those reasons that somebody will text in every once in a while. I need real reasons. If you point to pitching, starting pitching, I think that's legit. Nothing this weekend scares me about that. You have to play Tennessee next weekend in a super regional, that's a whole other conversation. Let's get to the super first before we worry about that. Oh, man. Lots of thoughts on this NCAA tournament. Lots of them. And we'll be getting into that as we go throughout the show. Plus, SEC meetings begin in Sandestin today, and the SEC being one of the 2 most powerful leagues in college football. I think everybody's going to be very interested in not just what was said pre-meetings by Greg Sankey, but the results of these meetings. If they do get the SEC commissioner and some of the athletic directors in front of cameras and microphones in the next couple of days, these meetings are huge. When you think of what's coming up in the next couple of months, July 1st is when revenue share starts. We still don't even have a decision by Judge Wilkin in the House settlement. And so there's all these other things that right now we're sort of waiting for all of that to happen before the new modern model of college sports can begin. And these SEC meetings are happening right in this area of what feels like limbo for right now. So we'll get into that too. Again, halftime today will be Alyssa Orange at 11:30. Clay Henry's with us 12 noon to 2. Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio 115. So stay with us. Lots to get to after the moment, after this quick break on halftime.
I think it's your girlfriend called.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, home of the Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Sandy White Perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Taco Bell brought back crispy chicken nuggets, and I can't believe how good they are.
Why can't you believe it?
Because you're Taco Bell. Taco Bell.
Yeah, but a taco place can do nuggets, right?
Yeah, the Hidden Valley Fire Ranch is awesome.
Okay, they're good, but we're not a chicken place.
When did you guys become a chicken place?
Can't a taco place do good nuggets? Are we not allowed to do both?
What do you mean?
You think it's cool to do both, right? Why are you looking at me like that?
Are they okay?
I don't think so.
We're totally a taco place that's a chicken place that's also a taco place.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started. Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need. Relax in our comfortable lounge. And when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless. Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Take that all day.
I need to sit though.
Finally make a putt. Let's go tap in pars.
Golf is back. Shop polos, hoodies, and Q-zips at Rowback.com.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season is in full swing and we're into the NBA and NHL playoffs, and BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from the MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC, BetOnline remains the best online source for all your sports wagering information. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. Bet online. The game starts here.
Over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your belongings. License E50.
The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell.
Bless my heart. Oh, I didn't think I'd make it 22 years old. There must be someone. Oh, singing, come on, baby. You gotta come on.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
So one match, and I don't know if I'll say the people are disappointed about this. I'd like to see the Razorbacks play Little Rock, because Little Rock won the OVC, Matt. It's the first time that they've won the OVC tournament. I think it's the second time that the Trojans are ever in the NCAA tournament. So it really felt like a foregone conclusion that they would be sent to Fayetteville. They're going to Baton Rouge instead.
Baton Rouge, ugh.
Stay out. I gotta send a text to whomever the bus driver is for Little Rock and tell them to stay out of Lake Providence, Louisiana, for crying out loud. Because I just made that drive, and there are some very friendly people who like to say hello to you at 1:30 in the morning in Lake Providence, Louisiana. All they do is say hi. That's it. They just say hello. They don't shake hands. They ask you to open the window, and then they just say hello and have a couple of questions for you after that. Anyway, Chris asked, how close do I think that the committee was to sending the Trojans to Fayetteville? Now, I have no idea. The only thing, so there's this 400-mile rule when it comes to the baseball tournament. I don't know if this is the case for basketball. It might be anything that's an NCAA-sanctioned event. If you have to travel fewer than 400 miles, you bus it. Otherwise, the NCAA will pay for a flight. Little Rock and Baton Rouge they're still within that 400-mile range. So the NCAA is not spending a ton of money to send the Trojans to Baton Rouge. They're also not spending a ton of money to send Kansas here. Kansas obviously is a drive. It's 4 hours from Lawrence. Creighton, though, being in Omaha. So I've been to Omaha with the Razorbacks for the College World Series 3 times. They played Creighton once in the ballpark there in 2015, the last week of the regular season. We've always flown it because it's more than 400 miles between Fayetteville and Omaha. I think if the University of Arkansas was located in Bentonville, then you would bus it. It's that. I mean, there's that little bit of a difference between 400 miles and about 385 or 90 miles. So Creighton gets to fly, Kansas has to bus, and then there's Fargo, North Dakota. You ever been to Fargo, North Dakota? No, but watching the TV show Fargo or the movie does not count. It's like flying through the airport, doesn't count. Fargo is 840 miles away, so they will certainly be flying that thing. And I don't think that the committee really was that close to sending the Trojans to Little Rock because I have a feeling that they would have sent whoever the Summit League champion was here, because the Summit League championship, I don't know if it was a series or a game, I think it was a series, was either Oral Roberts, the closest Division I baseball school to Fayetteville, or North Dakota State, and I don't think there's another place that's hosting that would be closer to Fargo than Fayetteville. So I don't really think they were all that close to sending the Razorbacks or to sending the Trojans to Fayetteville. It's too bad, It's too bad. The Trojans, though, I think are better than North Dakota State, but I don't know. Would I say by that much? Yeah, I think they're considerably better. They got a much better Friday starting pitcher, Jackson Well. And I got thoughts on who Arkansas may start on Friday, which I'm not even sure if it's a real starting pitcher that's going to start Friday's game. Big Keith is with us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Big Keith, good morning. What's up?
He's up in the house.
Yeah. What's up in the house?
What's going on?
Let's go baseball.
You're having a little trouble with the phone there. You all right? All right, good. Go
I'm sorry. Can you hear me better now?
Loud and clear.
All right. Hey, before I talk baseball, I just want to touch up on some softball. I want to congratulate them on what a great year. I'm disappointed, but not in them, but just in the outcome. I think they've gotten to their own head. You know what I'm saying? And I think Bree Ellis, she got in her own head and thought she had to do a lot more than she had to. You know what I mean? And it kind of put more pressure on her, which I could not handle that much pressure. So I don't know. But anyways, they did a great job. I'm proud. And on baseball, I love our line all the way to the World Series. I mean, everybody's, afraid or talking about, like, it's real hard because we got Tennessee. Tennessee, if you've been following, has been really sucky the last few weeks. They've fallen off quite a bit. Yes, they are good, but they're not at Tennessee as they were when they were first.
The way I view Tennessee, Big Keith, is their collection of talent that doesn't really equal a team that is playing winning baseball right now. Now that has nothing to do with who they face in their regional. I think Wake Forest could get out of their regional, but they are the best team in that regional. I mean, they're better than Cincinnati, they're better than Wake, they're better than Miami, Ohio, and probably by far in every case. It doesn't mean they'll win the regional, but I think Arkansas overall, just as talented as Tennessee, but a better, more cohesive team. And I think that played itself out the weekend that we saw them, which was, that was just 2 weeks ago. But they're talented. Being really talented doesn't really make it good automatically.
Yeah. And the last question I have for you, I wanted you guys' opinion of this. And I'm really getting kind of sick and tired. When did it change where it doesn't matter if you win the SEC or try to win it? Where it's just a throwaway game because it doesn't matter. I mean, do you guys not have pride? Do you not take pride in, like, I knew how exciting it was when Dave Van Horn first won the SEC, outright and won the tournament for first time. I remember, the players were so happy and proud. But then after that, it's like since then they don't really care. They just want to get to the NCAA championships. And I'm
not really sure if I would agree that they don't care. I'd question the thought, Keith, that because they didn't play well, that meant that they didn't care, or they just got outplayed in that game, or they just had a bad inning. Like that game on Friday for me, Keith, was all about a bad first inning. That's all. They didn't get great at-bats the rest of the game, and that's not necessarily just about the hitters. Riley Maddox pitched really well. The guy had some incredible arm side run on his fastball, and that was the main problem for the Hogs, more than anything. I think they were in their heads in that first inning. Zach Root pitched well. He threw, 4 more scoreless innings after the first, and he should have had a scoreless first inning. Look, it was a bad game. It was a bad inning. I don't know if it's a matter that they didn't believe the game didn't mean anything, because once a game starts and you're playing baseball against somebody, you try to win. The coaching staff, they talked about, we're just going out here to try to win a tournament. We're not putting any artificial pitch limits on anybody, or they put the same lineup out there the usual would on a Friday. They put the same starting pitcher out there. They just lost a game. They didn't play well. I think in previous years, when you start on a Wednesday or a Thursday or a Tuesday, now we're talking about something different. But I don't really know if it's a matter that once the game started, they're just like, Now I do think the game didn't matter. It didn't. They lost. The two teams that it's funny. Looking at the national seeds here, Big Keith. Arkansas is 6-0 against seeds 1 and 2. They swept at Vandy. They swept Texas at home. Now Texas, they nothing happened to them from losing that first game. Absolutely nothing happened to them. This tournament meant I don't think anybody got to the tournament based on this on the SEC tournament. Maybe Ole Miss, made their bones to host. But when I see where it is that they're sitting in here, they're 10th on the top 16 seed list. Do we really think that the 2 wins that they had in Hoover are the reason that they moved to 10th? No, I think they already were there. Same with Tennessee. Tennessee had the 11th best RPI. They were not going to be left out of the top 16 seeds with the 11th best RPI in the SEC. What this tournament meant was about who was going to be the number 1 overall seed in the national tournament. Whoever won this tournament, as long as they were top 4 in the SEC, as long as it was Arkansas, Vanderbilt, LSU, and Texas, those 4 teams, maybe Auburn too, those 5 teams, any one of those 5 teams win the SEC tournament, number 1 overall seed. Vandy wins it, they wouldn't have been number 1 overall if they'd have got knocked out here, because at that point, it's LSU in the finals. Maybe it would have been Tennessee in the final. I don't think Tennessee would have been number 1 because they would have been coming from too far out. But that tournament did have some meaning. What the meaning was who's going to be the overall number 1 seed. Now, I do think, Big Keith, that Ole Miss might have played like they thought that they needed to win games to host. But there's no way that how many games did they win there? 2? There's no way that their 2 wins got them from like 18th on the seed line to 10th on the seed line. No matter it is who they beat. There's no way that those 2 wins did that. This SEC tournament got absolutely nobody into the NCAA tournament. No one. Kentucky went 1 and out. They got in. Kentucky got into the tournament with an RPI at 38. They lost the only game they played. They're still in the national tournament. The only thing the SEC tournament means from now on is the winner of that tournament is the number 1 overall seed in the national tournament. 877-377-6963. Calls and texts on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. JT asked, does UALR have enough pitching to win 3 straight games this weekend? I don't know enough about Little Rock, but the answer is still no. They're not going to beat LSU. I mean, I'd be amazingly surprised. And it's not because of the LSU hitters. It's because of their pitchers. If Little Rock scores 1 run against Cade Anderson or 1 run against Anthony Ianson, that's a surprise. Because that is the best 1-2 tandem of any starting pitching rotation in the country. I think the only problem for LSU is they don't have a third guy, and they don't have an incredibly deep bullpen. But I don't really think they'll need it this weekend. No, I don't think Little Rock will make it out of the Baton Rouge Regional, and I don't think that they're going to have I don't think they're going to upset LSU in the first game either. Scott asked about, we had an inside the park home run. This was the one highlight for the Razorbacks on Friday.
And Mormon, and they collide. Oh, somebody's hurt. Ball rolls to the fence, and Humphreys limping after it. Kozel's heading to third base, going to be sent home. He's on his way to the plate. The throw's on the way. Inside the park home run for Cam Kozel. And 2 injured Rebel outfielders, and they haven't gotten up.
Well,
that looked bad.
It really did.
Really bad.
It looked awful. But eventually Humphrey stayed in the game, finished the ball game. I heard Ryan Mormon is just fine to continue into the NCAA tournament. That was probably the most frightening play I've seen all year long, with those 2 guys basically diving into each other, but thankfully they missed each other's heads. And the way that they hit each other, it looked a lot worse than it really was. That was the last highlight for the Razorbacks, an inside the park home run that I didn't remember. I'd called one for Casey Martin in 2019, I think, at Kentucky. If he hit 3 that year, I missed 2 of them with women's basketball, but I do remember the one he hit at Kentucky. I can't remember everything I've seen. I can't quite remember everything it is that I've called. I try, I just can't remember all of it. And if it's, 6 years from the last inside the park home run, I think that's within the statute of limitations of memory. All right, we'll break in a moment, and Alyssa Orange comes up, but I want to remind you about the Clay Maxey Auto Group with a promise to provide a level of service that maximizes your drive at every step in a car ownership experience. Locations for Clay Maxey Auto Group in Harrison, Mountain Home, Clinton, or Berryville, and online at ClayMaxeyAutoGroup.com. Featuring personalized car buying, competitive, transparent pricing, and reliable, consistent repairs from factory-trained technicians, it's Clay Maxey Auto Group asking for the opportunity to maximize your drive today. Now stay with us. It's Alyssa Orange joining us after the break.
This is Halftime.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
All power, zero compromise. Ego cordless outdoor power equipment features advanced lithium battery technology that exceeds the power and performance of gas without the noise, fuss, or fumes. From mowers and trimmers to blowers and pressure washers, one battery powers over 90 tools. No wonder it's the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Power beyond belief. Visit egopowerplus.com to learn more or to find an Ego retailer near you. That's egopowerplus.com.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're looking for the best used car your money can buy, check out our great selection of road-ready certified vehicles with warranty. If you're trading or selling your car, let us give you a free second opinion and leave with a check in your hand. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in the Meineke Car Care Center. Plus, follow us on Facebook for special offers and fun contests. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023, Anheuser-Busch, Bush Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at AAABM.com or call us at 471-1771.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? They do that too. A Cut Above also offers tree and limb removal. Don't forget hauling and dumpster rental as well. More than just a mowing service, they're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, stump grinding, leaf removal, mulching, flea, tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
Bred for the mud. Kawasaki Terex KRX 1000 and Terex KRX 41000 lifted edition side-by-sides come factory equipped to dominate wet and muddy conditions with ITP crypted mud tires, elevated dual snorkel air intakes, and Fox 2.5 LSC piggyback shocks. This edition is purpose-built for more mud-slinging good times. Now, weather doesn't stop the adventure. It inspires it.
Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
The Old Fort Days Rodeo begins Memorial Day, and Jelco Outdoors is ready to get you and the family ready for the largest sporting event of the year in the River Valley. Save up to $30 off on select Western boots by Ariat, Durango, Justin, or Watson, Tony Lama, and Twisted X. Buy 2 pair of Ariat or Wrangler jeans and get a 3rd pair free. Plus, receive an Old Fort Days ball cap free with purchase. Jelco Outdoors, the Old Fort Days official merchandise store. Get ready for the rodeo at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Well, I knocked to a window to leave her a note. Will you call me at the back of the grove? All the trees were in bloom. That's the smell in the air. We were trembling together. We were young, we were scared, yeah.
Welcome back to halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Appreciating a visit from Alyssa Orange, joining us on a Tuesday. We're moving Alyssa to 11:30 in the morning, and she has agreed to this change, which we very well appreciate that, Alyssa. How was your long weekend?
It was great. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and had a good time in Conway calling the high school state softball games, even though it rained a little bit, obviously, over the weekend. Still kind of overcast here, but cannot complain overall about a 3-day weekend.
So you got through the whole softball finals, but I know baseball's kind of had to. They didn't have to postpone it till midweek. So, but softball got in, right? Okay.
We did, and so the big thing there was I think Rogers Fayetteville played Sunday, and then they've got one more game that they'll play tomorrow to finish that out. The thing with softball there at UCA, their entire field, infield, outfield is turf, so it drains really, really well. The baseball field, the infield is turf, the outfield is actual grass. And so they had some standing puddles that just so much rain came on Saturday morning and afternoon. They couldn't do much about that. So that's why they kind of had to shift things around.
Softball obviously has just become something bigger in the state of Arkansas over the last, I guess I'd say 10 years, maybe a little more than that. What was the, obviously you're doing these state title games. In the foreground is the Super Regional occurring in Fayetteville, and right. I know that everybody that's playing in these state championship games is going to be a fan of the Razorbacks, or at least very, very interested in that. What was the feeling in Conway after the Hogs got eliminated, unfortunately, by the Rebels?
Yeah, I mean, I think, obviously softball, the growth in the state just in general, and the talent in the state that continues to rise, was really fun to see. And a lot of those girls on those rosters are committed to D1, D2, D3 programs to play at the next level, and including Arkansas. So a lot of people paying attention. I think the first game kind of threw people off in that first loss to Ole Miss, kind of not understanding, and then the news coming out about food poisoning with Robin and Peyton, and you just kind of, your heart breaks because of all the times to have food poisoning for something like that to happen. You just hate that it happened during a super regional. A lot of excitement after what happened in game 2, and then I was back home for game 3. Thought about going, ended up, Bella and I watched it at home. I'm still trying to get Bella to appreciate sport. We're working on it in general. She's so funny, but just a heartbreaking way for things to unfold, and it just feels, I think I said cursed. I don't necessarily know. Maybe it's a curse, maybe it's not, but man, it feels that way for sure, that they just can't get the one win they've needed to get to a Women's College World Series for the first time. And it's just heartbreaking for the program, for Courtney Dipel, for this team, to still just feel like it just is so out of reach.
Well, I guess you also feel sometimes, and maybe it's more like what fans feel like they're battling, because the coaches and players end up answering questions about this, but I just don't know if it's a matter of the conversation that they're having. Every team is different every year. In the age of the transfer portal, last year's teams, and the reason that they lost is never the same reason why something happened this year. I mean, it's just, that's the truth of college sports now. But the narrative of, is it a matter of something missing? It's like, because it felt like you had kind of everything you needed to make it to Oklahoma City this year, which also included the kind of matchup. Remember, they've gone on the road for super regionals to Oklahoma before, which, I mean, nobody's going to win that. But coming home against a team that you already played, it's a tough narrative to overcome. And then it just becomes,
it is.
You feel like you're Sisyphus rolling the ball up the hill, and you just get crushed by it every time you take it near the top.
Exactly. And I think, too, to your point, to add to that, Phil, not only are you hosting at home against a team you've played already, but it's also a team in the same position as you are, in which that program had also never been to the Women's College World Series. They had not even won a super regional game, Ole Miss had. They had never even won a game until that Friday game against Arkansas. And it just felt like if this was it, this was it. For Arkansas, this was the year they were going to do it. They had all the pieces in place. There was no, things have to fall this way. Hopefully you get a little luck over here. No, they, top to bottom, the lineup, the pitching rotation, the defense, it was all there. I am not going to sit here and say that season ended because of food poisoning, but it is almost like, what happened? Why did this have to happen? And it's unfortunate, and it's heartbreaking. And that's why I think it's just so hard to process, because that can't be this team's story. Like, how can that be what happened with this team? And that was it. And then I think in game 3, with Ole Miss starting off, putting up 4 runs in the first, Arkansas answering to tie it back. Like, it felt like they were going to get that momentum again, and then letting up those 2 home runs for Ole Miss. I went into Sunday not feeling great. And I don't know why. I mean, sometimes, Phil, I don't know if you have those feelings too, where it's just like you walk into before the game even starts, and you just don't have a great feeling in your gut about it. That's how I felt going into game 3.
Yeah, and it's like, for me, you can start to, and look, I didn't watch enough softball this year to have any opinion about the team, truthfully, but I do feel like you're looking for the pitcher that's going to be kryptonite to bats. And I don't remember the name of the young lady that came in and basically was the reason Ole Miss won. She just turned into kryptonite for that team's bats. And I remember seeing the same thing happen with NC State in the Fayetteville Super in 2021, thinking Kevin Abel of Oregon State in the last game in 2018. you know, there's just there just tend to sometimes be a pitcher that just finds a zone, and when a pitcher finds a zone, and even the most talented team offensively, that's what I felt what happened with Ole Miss and Riley Maddox on Friday last week. Well, his numbers weren't great, but the guy threw really well, and all you got to do is watch how much movement was on his two-seam fastball. Sometimes pitchers just get hot. And I thought the Ole Miss pitcher, and I should remember her name, but I don't have my box score in front of me. She just got hot, Alyssa.
She did, and that's the thing, is there's just nothing you can do about that. And all you can do is tip your cap, give an applause, because she pitched an incredible game for her team to set them up to now be able to go to Oklahoma City this week. And that's what it was. She was able to find exactly what she needed and shut down one of the best offenses in the country and execute the game plan. And there's sometimes nothing you could do about it, right? And sometimes, as much as we want to point things and fingers at certain situations and certain things that just weren't I think it just was a case where Ole Miss was executing and their game plan worked, and that's really all you can say about it. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
I do, yeah. No, sometimes we're looking for deeper meaning.
Sometimes in this game, it's like, that's it. That's it.
Well, Erso, does it become indicative that the program can't ever make the promised land? Well, I asked this question respectfully, too, because we all cover a baseball program where folks might feel like it's cursed and they won't ever win a national title, but they're still at a place where annually they're competing to get to Omaha, and I think this year's team's going to get there too. You're a graduate of Florida State. That was also a program where, well, there was the feeling that baseball-wise, there's a curse because we can't win the national title. All you did was make it to, I don't remember, was it 19 College World Series under Mike Martin?
Yeah,
and
that's exactly
I just have trouble.
It was key.
I just have trouble using the word curse with programs that are so successful, but it's just really difficult to be that last team standing. I think softball's in a different place, though, because you're trying to crack that ceiling of Oklahoma City, and that's the thing that's so tough here.
It is, and that's it always just takes that first one, right? Like, you just want to knock down the door and just get to the Women's College World Series, and then you could think about winning a title. Like, I think for baseball, you're absolutely right. You can get there. This team knows how to get there. Now they just have to find a way to win the whole thing. Florida State's still figuring it out. You mentioned Mike Martin. Florida State is the program that's been to the College World Series the most and has never won. It's just hard. It's hard. And, that's why sometimes, not to take away from Tennessee and how many times LSU has won is truly remarkable because of how hard it is to do it. So when it comes to softball and this Women's College World Series, for what Patty Gasso and Oklahoma have done just makes it so much more impressive. For what UCLA has done historically makes it so much more impressive. But you got to get there first. And it's hard. But they always say the first one's the hardest. And then it's almost like, okay, that pressure of never being there is gone. And now the second time, the third time, the fourth time seems a little bit more easy.
Hey, in about 60 or 120 seconds, what do you have thoughts on the Fayetteville Regional Field starting this weekend?
I think it's tough, but it's winnable. I think you've got a really good team in Kansas who played really well in the Big 12 coming in. And then, Creighton and North Dakota State. I like it. I don't think it's the easiest regional out there for Arkansas, but we know that this team can play really good baseball, and as much as the field matters, how this team performs matters. And I think we've seen that over the last two regionals, that, Kansas State came in and played well, and TCU came in and played well, but Arkansas didn't play well. And as long as Arkansas can come in and play the way we've seen this baseball play and know how they play, then I think they'll find themselves in a super next week.
Have faith. Bella will be a sports fan. It just takes a little bit more time, and I know you've got Yeah, but you'll put the effort in, Alyssa. I know that.
Well, she said to me, Daddy and Finn are going to the game, and me and Mommy are staying home, and we are not watching it. And I was like, okay, this is the battle that I
She doesn't
fight.
know her mom really well, huh? Oh, boy.
She does.
Alyssa,
She goes,
appreciate
"We are
you.
not
Thanks for
watching
coming
that."
on. We'll do it again
Thanks,
11:30
guys.
next week, okay?
I'll see you next week, yeah.
You got it. Alyssa Orange with us every Tuesday, 11:30 in the morning now these days. Hey, don't forget about the Fence Man. If you're looking for a fence that stands out, stands strong, write this number down. The Fence Man's at 479-782-3936. They've been serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, building custom, one-of-a-kind fences. Includes residential, commercial, and high-security fences. If you need an automatic gate, the Fence Man does it. And if you need financing, they have 18-month financing available right now. Get a free quote at thefencemanAR.com or call them at 479-782-3936. The Fence Man ain't afraid of no work. And we're back to wrap up hour number 1 of Halftime in just a moment.
Exclusive coverage at the Fayetteville Regional, presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback, Arvest Bank, and Shelter Insurance agent Chris Dooley.
I mean, you couldn't ask for a better series than what we got right here.
The Old Fort Days Rodeo begins Memorial Day, and Jelco Outdoors is ready to get you and the family ready for the largest sporting event of the year in the River Valley. Save up to $30 off on select Western boots by Ariat, Durango, Justin, or Watson, Tony Lama, and Twisted X. Buy 2 pair of Ariat or Wrangler jeans and get a 3rd pair free. Plus, receive an Old Fort Days ball cap free with purchase. Jelco Outdoors, the Old Fort Days official merchandise store. Get ready for the rodeo at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jasco Graphics, now 17 years in the industry. How do people see what you've made over the years, Cecil?
Google, Yahoo it, or Bing it. Jasco Graphic Design, JAAZCO, Monday through Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And sometimes I'm here after. So if that open sign is on, I'm here. Y'all come on in. Jasco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jasco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisaw.
Experience Razorback football on the Hill this fall as quarterback Taylon Green, defensive stalwart Cam Ball, and the Hogs will be returning to action for great home matchups, including the August 30th home opener, the first ever matchup with Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish, on September 27th, and a matchup against Texas A&M inside Razorback Stadium for the first time since 2013. Secure your tickets online right now at ArkansasRazorbacks.com.
Looking to protect yourself and your family this flu season? Law's Drug Store at 6802 Rogers Avenue offers the latest vaccines for adults and seniors in both COVID-19 and the flu. Law's Drug Store has friendly pharmacists ready to assist you with no appointment necessary. Call 452-6116. It's quick, it's easy, and in most cases, free with your insurance. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Open 6 days a week to care for you and your family.
Insurance company throwing you a curveball? Are they crowding the plate and not offering you a fair settlement? If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need an experienced attorney to fight for you. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions, licensed in Arkansas and Oklahoma. No win, no fee. Call Mock Legal Solutions today for your free consultation. 479-769-1505. Real advice, reasonable price.
Got a pest? Call West. If you have pest or termite problems in your home, call West today and learn how their 50 years combined experience can help solve your problems with competitive pricing and quality services, all designed with your pets and children in mind. Call today and schedule your free estimate. They even offer Saturday services and long life attic pest control. Call 782-7291. West Termite and Pest Control, protecting your home health and peace of mind.
Hey, Ty Richardson, I want to update you what's going on with Jammart and their 5 locations in Arkansas. The Greenwood location has just implemented state-of-the-art gas dispensers. Come by and see them in Bulldog Country next to Jules Bakery. You know I love the full-service deli in Jammart number 10. I'm excited to announce that the Phoenix location is getting one too. If you haven't already, make sure to download the Jammart Rewards app. Become a member and start saving today. Jammart, the leading gas station and convenience store in the region.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Used to be beautiful. Your eyes, your face. There's nothing I would change. We are one in my life. Everything I know. For one, watching me as I go.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
You know what's fun? The fun is cleaning the house for your parents to stay in your house when I don't think they've ever stayed in my house, ever. Not even when I was married. I mean, they would get a hotel room. But because they're coming into Fayetteville for Friday's regional game, my daughter's has her confirmation Sunday, so they're coming in for that. And I guess we decided it's just fine if they stay in this house here with a couple of cats and 3 bedrooms. And I guess that means I have to launder my sheets, Matt. Probably be a good idea.
Yeah, that would be a good son move right there. Go ahead and wash the sheets on the bed for them.
I've already cleaned the bathroom. I spent a good 30 minutes on the bathroom on Saturday when I got home. That's what I do if I'm not calling a baseball game. I don't have really much else to worry about, so I clean the bathroom for my parents. What else? I guess we got to sweep the rest of the floor and to make sure that we've got. It's funny, every time I end up going home to Pittsburgh, they say, "So what do you need? What is it that you need in the house? What kind of food do you need?" They do sound like that a little bit. I ask them the same question. They don't need a darn thing. They don't need anything. Except probably directions to get to the house, because otherwise I'm not sure they know where this thing is. I am not used to cleaning for my parents in this house. I did it when I was married, but they weren't sleeping there. I kind of feel like since I'm not even going to be here Saturday or Sunday, the 2 days that they'll be in this house, these 2 people are going to be poring over everything that's in this house. Literally, they'll be peeking behind every corner. They'll be opening every drawer. They'll be looking in all the medicine cabinets. They'll be looking for all the fun stuff. So I better make sure I hide all of that. And all the stuff that's not fun, too. 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive hotline. We get into our second hour, and Clay Henry joins us, Hall of Fame sports writer. He'll be with us for a couple of hours. We also have 3 Up, 3 Down with Dr. Charlie Liggett in about 20 minutes since we didn't have a show yesterday. And halftime returns right after this break.
Save up to $4,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
Insurance company throwing you a curveball? Are they crowding the plate and not offering you a fair settlement? If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need an experienced attorney to fight for you. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions, licensed in Arkansas and Oklahoma. No win, no fee. Call Mock Legal Solutions today for your free consultation. 479-769-1505. Real advice, reasonable price.
Looking to protect yourself and your family this flu season? Law's Drug Store at 6802 Rogers Avenue offers the latest vaccines for adults and seniors in both COVID-19 and the flu. Law's Drug Store has friendly pharmacists ready to assist you with no appointment necessary. Call 452-6116. It's quick, it's easy, and in most cases, free with your insurance. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Open 6 days a week to care for you and your family.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, showers and a chance of thunderstorms. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be into the low 70s north, upper 70s south. Later on tonight, we will see clouds, a chance of showers and a few storms. Our overnight lows will drop down mid to upper 50s, and Wednesday, sunshine mid to upper 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grain Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 95 days. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you. Oh, ask me if I'm all right. One team dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
People said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my hot dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
What they were one racer back.
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Welcome back in halftime. Moving on into hour number 2 on ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line Now app. I am Phil Elson with my partner Matt Jones. Christian Johnston producing. We'll be bringing on Clay Henry from you can read him at Whole Hog Sports, where he's features editor in just a moment. Calls and texts at the Lewis Automotive Hotline at 877-377-6963. And now's the time to get in with us if you want to anytime soon. Gary in Huntsville heard me talking about cleaning up for the parents. Asked if they're Yingers. No, they do. They are not Yingers. They live amongst them. Parents are native New Yorkers. Father born in the Bronx, mother born in Queens. They met at Queens College, moved to Pittsburgh in '75. They still sound like New Yorkers. It's been 50 years, and I don't think you ever lose the accent at all. It might soften a little bit, but yeah, they still say water. You know, just You never quite lose that accent. And I've been told, Matt, do you detect any? Do I have an accent of any kind?
I'm well, you can tell a little bit, but wrestler. I say wrestling. It's like warsher. That's my accent.
Pittsburgh, they throw an R into warsh too.
Yeah, warsh.
Yeah,
you go watch some wrestling.
Go get yourself a warsh rag, or you're going to take a trip to Washington D.C. Exactly.
You have
right.
a very good cadence, though. Like you don't ever really get sped up a lot, is what I notice mainly about when you're talking. The way you're reserved.
Well, I try. Look, I can do the Yinzer. I grew up amongst them. I lived amongst them for 21 years. I had a lot of them as friends and even some as teachers. And then I grew up around New Yorkers within the house that were sort of was a force field of the Yinzer accent. Nobody inside the house speaks like a Yinzer, but I don't sound like a New Yorker, so I don't know. If anybody ever tried to classify my accent before, because I've lived in Arkansas 25 years, and I still don't sound like I'm from Arkansas, but I've lived here longer than anywhere else. Yeah. I think that'll always be the same. I think I'm always going to try to resist what everybody else sounds like when I'm around. Let's bring on Clay Henry with us here on a Tuesday. Features editor. You can read him at Whole Hog Sports. Clay, do I have an accent? Because I don't know, and I shouldn't be the one to answer if I have one or not.
No, I think that you have been coached probably by your dad to enunciate, and I think they probably did everything they could because you were going to be in radio to coach that out of you. And I think that there's probably was some effort to enunciate clearly. I know that I talk like I'm from Arkansas, and my wife certainly does. She talks like she's from Southeast Arkansas, which has some little bleed of Mississippi in it. The Delta, I guess, is what she has. I've been traveled around the country, doing my job, and someone will say, "Oh, you're from Texas." Whoa, let's back up here. That doesn't fly.
Growing up in the North, I'd say everybody in the North thinks that the Southern accent is just one big monolith accent. They don't realize the differences. And there's differences between Central Arkansas, Northwest Arkansas, and Southern Arkansas. There isn't a single person that lives north of the state of Missouri that's aware of that. And I wasn't aware of it either. But then the first time I lived in the South was Fayetteville, North Carolina. And even though that's an Army town, there's a lot of Southerners there too. And I thought, hey, hold on a moment. This sounds just a little bit different than what I'm used to. Nobody here says yins. Nobody says yins. Not like I said it myself.
You don't say y'all, do you?
No, I kind of resisted that. Every once in a while, I'll throw it in there too. But if I resisted yins for 20 years, I'm going to resist y'all for 25 years.
Do you ever say we're fixing to have dinner?
No, I'm fixing dinner sometimes, not fixing to have dinner. But it's okay. I understand everything that everybody says. I really do. It's just, I guess I'll communicate in my way. I've been told I sound a little bit like I'm from the Midwest, but I think that's what every broadcaster's kind of shooting for. Charlie's here with us.
Exactly. That's what you're shooting for. Yes.
Charlie sounds like he's from Camden. Did I hit the nail on the head here, Charlie? You're from Camden, right?
Arkadelphia.
You hit it, man. Look, I can bounce between a little bit of hood in me. You guys have heard it. When the tuner gets a little, loud or upset, he gets a little hood when he starts talking about Jerry or Jerry Jones. But then he's got his little country accent too. So I kind of mix it up, Phil. I'm trying to add a little bit more of that Midwestern, Northern accent to my voice. So I'm just gonna keep listening to you on the air, and maybe it'll get better.
No, I'm just going to keep listening to you, Charlie, and I'm just going to try to keep, sounding like me.
I understand. Look, I was thinking about, I heard you earlier in the show, you talked about, and look, I agree with you on this. This is a different era where there are new teams every year, and I don't think you can compare last year and what happened and the year before that to this year. But I do wonder this, Phil, and I wonder if the players, maybe, let's see if I can word this right. Do they feel the pressure in the sense of, okay, they know Dave hasn't won one yet. Arkansas hasn't won a championship yet. Do you think that goes into their mind any? and also the coaching staff, because I understand this is a different team. I do. And but do you think they, as players, understand? Like Vahiva was here last year. I think 7 of 9 new guys are in the lineup, if I'm not mistaken, Vahiva not being one. But I'm just saying, do you think they, in a sense, feel the pressure of, okay, it's kind of like we got to get this done? Because I've listened to the national media. This team is as talented, and I've said that all year. This team is as talented as any team as Dave has had, in my opinion, and maybe since 2018. This team can do it. My question is, do they, in a sense, do you think they feel the pressure? Because, I mean, if they just go out there and play, if they play their best ball, I don't see nobody. I think they win this thing. But, you know, we all know baseball is weird sometimes, and I just wonder what you guys thought about that. And I'll get off.
I would think, Charlie. I mean, that's a good question. I mean, but the thing is like they come to Arkansas not because, you know, they're going to be the first team to win a national title here. They come here to get better, first and foremost. I think you choose where you go play for baseball, and I don't want to talk about other sports in this case. They come to Arkansas because I think they feel it's going to be a great place to play. They'll get paid a certain amount while they're here, and will prepare them for the draft. Which, if you heard Dave talk yesterday on the selection show, and they asked him about what's important for a team this time of the year, the first thing he says, and I've talked about this with him off the air, is that the guys want to be here. Because if there's the main difference in college baseball compared to the other sports in relation to the draft, is that the draft happens right after you're finished with the season. And it happens in the middle of the major league season, not the off season like basketball or like the NFL. And so when you're at the end of the college baseball season, you're really close to the draft, closer than you are to the draft at the end of the college basketball season. Same with the NFL. And I think in their minds, sometimes, and it's crazy to think about this if you're about to enter a tournament, that their mind is more on their far future than the near future. More in tune of being interested in the draft and their next team they're playing for than the team that they're playing for at that very moment. And I've heard him, Dave has even talked, and you don't know that that's going to be the case with these guys too. It's not like you interview them when you're recruiting them and you say, well, you're going to be into being on this team in late May, or you're going to be worried about the draft. I just think it's in the back of every coach's mind that could be a thing. Now, I don't know if they feel the pressure that the guys last year would have felt. I think every team that's at home is going to feel some pressure in front of a big crowd when you are the number 3 seed. And will they go out and play free and easy? Man, I don't know, Charlie. I'd love to say yes. I'd love to say, why wouldn't you play free and easy? But I've never been in that situation before. I only know how I feel when I walk into that park. And I imagine a lot of fans feel the same way. Nervous as anything, because I want to see them play well. I want to see them perform well. And I don't know if it's going to happen. They only know how they feel walking into that park. Are they going to be nervous? I'd imagine there's some nerves. But I'm super nervous when I walk in there. Because I'm also around this program for 11 years. Most of you listeners have been fans of this program for longer than that. So I think your nerves are different than the nerves that the players feel, because you've been part of this program for 15, 20, 25, 30 years. You feel that weight of history. I don't know if the players do. I don't really think they do.
In talking to players through the years, and it's not just this team, the first thing that they want is to get on the field. That's the first thing. You talk about goals. Because if you come to Arkansas, there's 34, 35 more guys that could beat you out. So you have to get on the field first. There's competition. And I'll never forget sitting, and I watched a lot of fall scrimmages through the years. I mean, to me, that's, especially when they started closing football practice, you got to have something to do. And I would go watch the scrimmages, and the scouts would say, these are 2 regional teams. I said, what do you mean 2 regional teams? I said, you take the dugout over there, they can make a regional. You take the dugout over there, they can make a regional. Dave just has to figure out which one of these guys makes an Omaha team. Mm-hmm. And so they all came to Arkansas first to try to get on the field. and then 2, to try to get better. And yeah, and you're right. They want to be pros. And so that they want to hone their skills. And it's the best place to do that because of facilities and coaching. There's not any question that this is, elite level coaching. And the fundamentals that they play with. And that's what was surprising about that first inning against Ole Miss. But that happens sometimes with baseball. It takes us just not getting the grip right on one double play combination, and then you have potential for an extra out in a big inning. But they came here to go to Omaha, and the last thing is to win a national championship. They find out after they're here, okay, Dave's never won one, but they came here to try to go to Omaha because that's where every baseball player that grows up in this country, that's what they dream for. Probably in other countries too. When you're talking about, here's a kid from Canada. We've had players that have come here from Japan, right, or Korea. That that's what their goal is, to get to Omaha. It is the pot of gold under the rainbow. I mean, it's all of that. But if you listen to the coaches, they're trying to win it for Dave more than I think the players are. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And it also speaks to the feeling of, I think it was Tyler and Winslow had texted in about Arkansas sports being cursed. And there isn't a player on any of these teams that feels that, believes that, or will kind of swim in there and talk to you about that. Like, Matt, an athlete is not going to worry about something that's a curse. I don't think you believe in these
No, you're
things.
exactly right, Phil. There's the thing is, this team is exceptionally well. Dave Van Horn's been one of the greatest college baseball coaches to ever coach college baseball. It's not. I think Alyssa even brought it up earlier. It's hard. If it was easy, everybody'd be doing it. It's hard to win a national title, but you talk about the success that Dave's had here. I mean, regular season titles, SEC, always being in the top 4, top 5. I mean, he's remarkable. The amount of success. I don't think there's anything like a curse that what you're talking about.
Well, and 7 trips to Omaha with the program too. That is postseason success. It's just not winning the last game. And you think of how close they came to winning that last game. And I know that's one moment that people will point to for the curse. But then I asked Tyler, so tell me what the curse is about. What is the curse about?
The curse would be all of a sudden we're Missouri Tiger baseball. Now we're cursed. This is amazing to watch. I mean, how are you not? I get it, but like, man, just this is the joy. And I say this to you, some Phil. It seems like at the start of baseball season, it's like you got a pretty good gig, man. You're going out there to see talent, to see greatness, to see people that are really high level, high players to to watch them.
Well, so you think of the Cubs curse, right? That was about a goat. A guy wasn't allowed to bring his goat in the bar, so there was a curse thrown on them because of that. Red Sox curse was because of Babe Ruth. What is the Razorback curse about? Can you point to a moment? Can you point to a reason? Something that the program or the athletic department did wrong all these years ago? That's the fulcrum of where the curse began. Is it just baseball, or is it just the last 27 years since you won a national title in basketball, or 20 or 31 years, whatever it is? I just need to know where is the point where the curse begins? Why is there one? What's the story behind it? Or do you just feel bad because only one team's win a national title on an annual basis in any sport, and it hasn't been Arkansas baseball, basketball, or football since 1994. I think that's the thing that we're feeling here. Let's talk to Eric in Fort Smith. Hi, Eric. You'll take us into the break. What's up?
Hey, man, long-time listener, and I might be batting off at second base at this point. Sorry, fellas, I'm working too. But I've been going over all the stats from the last 5 to 10 years, and to be honest, I think something that we're not talking about or looking into is fan base. I mean, we should have won the SEC tournament. I know it wasn't a high priority for us because of the NCAA tournament, but that was definitely a tournament we could have won. And I'm pretty sure that if we had the Arkansas fan base out there with us, with the team, I think we would have done a whole lot better. I mean, we see it time and time again. I call it, the Arkansas yearly mess up that, pop, fly, foul ball, can't catch it kind of thing. But I mean, just imagine if all of the fans.
I remember that there were like 20,000 Razorback fans in that stadium when that pop up wasn't dropped. So we're like kind of making up a reason here.
Right, but I mean, you said it yourself when we were down there that LSU fans go out there from droves. I mean, it doesn't necessarily win the championships.
Think about Oregon football. Think about Oregon football, right? They have won 0 national titles in the last 25 years. That is one of the most successful college football programs in the country right now. I think that's kind of what you would equate Arkansas baseball to.
And I see what you're saying, Eric, about the tournament, too. And I think part of it may be people in their minds place what they feel is an importance on the tournament and want the team to place the same importance on it, too. Like Kentucky basketball. Like Cal would always talk about, we're going to go win this tournament. Our fans show up for it. LSU, that is an LSU invitational. That's what Hoover is, okay? And they play like that sometimes. And they've got the number of championships that kind of pointed out. I don't know if it's a matter of there aren't enough Razorback fans there and they don't play well, but it is an interesting point to make. Like if your fan base shows up like it means something, well, then maybe you feel your team's going to do the same thing. But I also don't think, Eric, that anybody in the fan base views the SEC tournament as that. And I also don't think that there are plenty of Arkansas baseball fans that love to go to Hoover and have their RV and make a plan for it even a year ahead of time. It's just there's a lot more LSU fans that do that. It's just become that tradition for them on literally an annual basis. And I think it's just for more people, more LSU fans do it than Arkansas fans do. I guess we'll find out next year when we get back there again. Got a break here on halftime because we're coming up on 3 Up, 3 Down with Dr. Charlie Liggett right after this, so stay with us.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Sandy White Perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White Perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Taco Bell brought back crispy chicken nuggets, and I can't believe how good they are.
Why can't you believe it?
Because you're Taco Bell. Taco Bell.
Yeah, but a taco place can do nuggets, right?
Yeah, the Hidden Valley Fire Ranch is awesome.
Okay, they're good, but we're not a chicken place.
When did you guys become a chicken place?
Can't a taco place do good nuggets? Are we not allowed to do both?
What do you mean?
You think it's cool to do both, right? Why are you looking at me like that?
Are they okay?
I don't think so.
We're totally a taco place that's a chicken place that's also a taco place.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge. And when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Take that all day.
I need to sit, though.
Finally make a putt. What the tap in force?
Golf is back. Shop polos, hoodies, and Q-zips at Rhoback.com.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season is in full swing and we're into the NBA and NHL playoffs, and BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from the MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC, BetOnline remains the best online source for all your sports wagering information. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. Bet online. The game starts here.
Fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years. The Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences. Residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
Pappy left the chair like he's still sitting there. Once almost saw him make his move. Raving in the moon never changes his mood. In a painting on the wall right there. Oh, how long till the morning wakes? Oh, how till the medicine takes. Oh, Sally Buffalo and the bombing just below, just being without a care. Oh, children from my brood, they come and bring me food, make them open up a window for air. Oh, just now I smell the cornbread baking. Oh,
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, we are efforting getting Dr. Charlie Liggett, who very well may be inside his River Valley Smile Center office, because says he can hear you, but you can't hear him. C unit. So try him again, and I don't know. Maybe there's something wrong with our phones. We've had a couple of calls already, so the phones are working just fine. 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive Hotline for calls and for texts. And just make sure that you have them before we hit the music. And looking through some of the answers here on our text line, Nate in Bentonville wants everybody to be adopting Eddie's vocabulary, if not his accent. I'd say that means you got to make sure you throw in a hog delight. You got to throw in a this program, once every couple of sentences, and that works. And of course, that means if you're going to really do an Eddie from Clarksville vocabulary or accent, there has to be the semi-occasional woo, of course, because otherwise, what are we even doing here? Ryan in Prairie Grove says that it's the fans that are cursed, not the athletic department. Well, I see where you're going with that then, Ryan, because to me, it's the fans that believe in the curse. So then, yeah, you're the ones that are left in the wash after a postseason loss, and the team the next year is a different team, and yet you're still left with the memories of what happened the year before, or any of those postseason failures. All right, so we've got Dr. Charlie Liggett with us. Let's do it here. 3 up, 3 down.
It's time for 3 Up, 3 Down. Presented by River Valley Smile Center with Dr. Charles Liggett.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night. What does 3 up and 3 down mean to you, Airman?
End of an inning, strike 3.
All right, I'm going to start, and my first up is to former Razorback Peyton Holt. I wondered when some team was going to finally come around and sign him in an affiliated ball club. Peyton had been playing for the KC Monarchs, an independent team. I think that's the American Association. It played 13 games for the Monarchs, a couple of home runs, 11 walks, played third base and outfield. And now the Cincinnati Reds have come in and signed Peyton Holt to a contract where he will play in their minor leagues. And I got to be honest here, I would not be surprised if some years down the line, and I don't know how long it'll be, because when I watch Peyton Holt play, he gets that ultimate compliment of being a ball player. The guy is just a smart player.
He's got a motor.
He went 2 for 2 against Paul freaking Skeens, for crying out loud, okay? So if you can do that against Skeens in college, I'm not here to tell you he's going to be a batting champion or anything in the major leagues, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets there at some point. Big up to Peyton Holt. He belongs in a major league organization, and a big up to the Reds for signing him. My first down is because Hagen Smith was shut down by the White Sox, the former Razorback lefty. And my friend Doug Greenwald had showed up in Hoover. He's the new radio voice of the Birmingham Barons, which is the team that Hagen plays for, along with former Razorback catcher Michael Turner. Doug had told me that the White Sox had shut Hagen down because they wanted to change his mechanics. They didn't like his mechanics, had gotten a little bit messy, and now I read where he was dealing with elbow soreness. His MRI came through clean, which is good news. He'd already had the Tommy John surgery in high school. So they've shut him down. It's an undisclosed amount of time, but the good news is that there's no injury to Hagen Smith. All right, so that's my first down. Matt, where do you go?
Let's do it. My first up goes to Liverpool winning the English Premier League. The last time they lifted the trophy was COVID, so you kind of have that asterisk out beside it. Pretty cool. And then the first down goes to what was it? The Kansas City Chiefs last year. There was a shooting, I think, at the end of their Super Bowl parade. Similar thing here in Liverpool. A 53-year-old man drives his vehicle into the crowd as soon as the parade was over, injuring 50 people.
Come on.
Yeah, I think he might have some charges of attempted murder that be going up there pretty soon. So I mean, you can't do anything these days. You can't do anything. But hopefully those people are okay.
I hope they are all right. We had it also, of course, on New Year's just before.
In Bourbon
just before
Street,
just before the Sugar Bowl, for crying out loud. Dr. Liggett, what you got for your first ones?
My first up, got to give it to Courtney Deifel and the softball team. What a coach, what a season. Man, I just hated the way it had to end. That was heartbreaking. But man, if you've ever heard Courtney Deifel speak, I mean, those girls will run through a wall for her. I mean, she's an amazing person, an amazing coach, and I think they've got a lot more good years ahead of them. I'm going to hear her speak in a couple weeks at a Girls Inc. event here in Fort Smith. So looking forward to that. But man, I hated the way it ended. And my first down will stay with softball, and my first down is going to go to that umpire that gave our catcher a warning when she threw a ball, and the umpire called it a ball, and our catcher dusted off the plate so she could see it a little bit better, and then the umpire gave her a warning. But thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, but you also are not surprised if she got that warning, right? Well, you've seen a batter draw a line of the batter's box, right? What happened when he did that?
Yeah.
He got thrown out of the game. Yeah, she's probably lucky she only got the warning.
Yeah.
I got my first up, my second up here, and I'm going to cue the violin music, at least in my mind. I couldn't find it inside my computer. You know how I am when it comes to teams complaining about being left out of the tournament. Well, win a freaking game, for crying out loud. I do not care about Team 69 in the men's or women's NCAA basketball tournament, and I don't care about Team 65 in the NCAA baseball tournament either. Okay, so the committee got this right. Not giving the Big 12 a host spot. The best RPI for the Big 12 was TCU at 18. You do not host at 18 if you're not the conference champions either. Kansas was the second best RPI at 24. Big 12 did not deserve a host spot this year. It's the same with Georgia Tech. It's the first time ever that an ACC team has won their regular season championship and not hosted. Well, Georgia Tech's RPI is 21, and that's not indicative of being a host at the moment. So, and my second down goes to Big East baseball because there's one team that made the NCAA tournament, and they're in Fayetteville this year, and it's Creighton, and they had the third best RPI in the Big East at 46. Xavier and UConn were the best RPIs left out of the tournament. Xavier at number 39, UConn at number 40. There were some other RPIs that got bids that were better. That actually were worse than that. Arizona State got an RPI of 49, got an at-large bid. Oklahoma State also had an RPI of 44. They got an at-large bid. I think the situation for Oklahoma State's a little bit different because of the fires that caused at least 3 cancellations, maybe 4 cancellations, so their record might not necessarily be too indicative of their true resume. And they didn't play the necessary amount of games, 56, so your RPI gets dinged by that. But the Big East didn't deserve to get 2 teams in. It's just not really a very good league. And Creighton, I'm trying to think of where it was they won their conference tournament, because if they won that at Omaha, it's a huge ballpark. It's tough for teams, especially teams that aren't built for power, to hit home runs at that park. I'm not scared of Creighton this weekend. All right, Matt, number 2 for you.
All right. So I know see video game. I like this one. The 2 all-world receivers. Some say Jeremiah Smith might be the best receiver in the country. He's just a true sophomore at Ohio State. And then Ryan Williams at Alabama. Those are your cover athletes for the EA Sports college football video game. So that's pretty cool. And then my second down goes to me. I had Minnesota over Oklahoma City. It does not look good for the T-Wolves.
If Anthony Edwards is healthy, are things different, or is it just OKC may be a
lot
better
of
overall
help.
team?
Yeah, you got Divichenko and Naz Reid and you got an Alexander Wall. I mean, they got a couple pieces, but the depth. Who's the kid that's from Arkansas? Isaiah Joe and Jalen Williams, and you got the other Jalen Williams that's in his third year. That dude's a beast. I mean, he is very quietly just becoming just a Mr. Consistent All-Star. I think just top to bottom that and Julius Randle's had one good game in the 4 games. You know he's supposed to be better, but yeah, top to bottom. If Oklahoma City's healthy, man, they could win. What would LeBron say? Not 1, not 2, not 3, but they could be setting themselves up for a little dynasty.
Dr. Liggett, go ahead. Number 2.
Okay, my next up, kind of on the opposite side of what you said, Phil. Western Illinois of the Ohio Valley Conference had to get swept in their last conference series for Little Rock to qualify for the Ohio Valley tournament. Well, not only did that happen, but Euler won 5 straight games at the Ohio Valley tournament, and to clinch their auto bid to the regional. So they got it done. So the Little Rock will match up in the Baton Rouge regional.
I love it.
That's how you do it. You win, right?
Absolutely. More reason to root for another team from Arkansas. It's super cool. I think it's only the second time that the Trojans have ever made it to the NCAA tournament. And last year they won the OVC regular season, lost in the tournament. So it's good to see it happens this year for Coach Curry's team. What else you got?
So my down was the Samford-Mercer game. There is an elimination game in the Southern Conference. And so Samford's center fielder, Michael Gupton, man, he crushed a ball to dead center. I mean, just absolutely annihilated it. So as he's rounding the bases, he's celebrating. He gets in the shortstop's face and yells at him, starts yelling at the opposing dugout. And the umps had to actually hold the shortstop back, like he was ready to attack him. And Mercer pulled their team off the field. I thought the benches were going to clear, but it was like a 25-minute delay, and Gupton, and then also that shortstop Fry both got ejected. Fry's mother, the shortstop's mother, got ejected, and I think 2 coaches as well. And that the commissioner of the conference had to come down and talk to the umps and get it all straightened out. And then later in the game, the third baseman for Mercer shoved a Stanford player, and he got ejected. So it was a pretty exciting 5-1 victory for Stanford, but kind of crazy. I'm not really a big fan of all the crazy celebrations, especially when you're in somebody's face, yelling at the other dugout, that kind of stuff. There's no place for that.
I agree. And a kid kind of was made an example of on social media over the weekend. Look, celebrating home runs, one thing, but taunting the opponents while you're on the field, going around the bases, there is such a thing as act like you've been there. Third up, me. Sausage gravy and biscuits yesterday for my son. Nothing better than waking up to an incredibly healthy breakfast of gravy made with half and half and whole milk, and sausage gravy and fat, and eggs and butter and biscuits and more butter and bacon and more butter. It was definitely the healthy way to start the week. And the third down goes to the idea that Billy Joel has had to cancel all of his remaining tour dates. At the age of 76, one of the hardest working men in show business is dealing with something called normal pressure hydrocephalus, which is creating an amount of pressure on his brain that makes it very difficult to keep his balance and sing. And I hate that, because Billy Joel's one of my favorite, and he's B.E. from Clarksville's absolute favorite. So I hate that for Billy Joel. I hate that for his fans, because he was on a tour that was going to last all summer long. Matt, go ahead, number 3.
Yep, not only number 1 on the pop charts, but number 1 in B.E.'s heart.
That's right.
Third up goes to the NBA playoffs. This series has just been talk about just punch each other in the face. I mean, New York and Indy. This has been awesome. Game 4 tonight, and it was a couple of days ago. Towns had 4 points going into the fourth quarter. Knicks are down 20. He scores 20 of his 24 in the fourth and able to come back and get that victory. I still think this one goes 7. It's been fun to watch. And then my third down goes to Joey Chestnut. So he ate 42 servings of popcorn in 8 minutes to set a record. Any of y'all care to guess how many eating world records he owns?
All of them.
So he's got 16 Nathan's hot dogs, right? But he's got a Lance Briggs, a Derek Brooks, however you want to say it, double nickel. That's how many eating world records he owes.
If you have that many world records, that means there's a Hall of Fame of eating. Where is this Hall of Fame, and how much do we need to figure out a way to do a show there?
42 servings of popcorn in 8
my
minutes.
God.
That doesn't even sound like something I'd want to do.
What is considered a serving? Is that like a bag?
24 ounces, I think, is one serving.
Dr. Liggett, I think there's a sponsorship open for a dental practice at the World's Eating Contest as well. I mean, this is right down your alley.
Hey, I'm all for it.
What do you got for number 3?
Number 3. So Dusty Baker has played, coached, or managed in almost 3% of all games in Major League history. Is that not crazy?
How many games is that?
I don't know how many games that is. I was thinking about that. I was going to add it up, but I didn't.
Well, I'll do the math for you here.
3%.
Hold on a moment. Let me do the math for you here. I'm not going to figure out how many games have been played in Major League history. Somebody else can do that for me, all right? Dusty played in 2,039 Major League games as a player. As a manager, he managed another 1,556. So Dusty Baker played or managed in 3,595 games, and you're telling me that's 3% of all Major League games ever?
That's what I read.
All right, well, I'll have to believe that that's true, Dr. Liggett, because you're only going to come with true facts on this segment. That's right. What's your third down?
Okay, so you'll have to I'll fact check that again just to be sure, and then if you find out different, then let me know next week. And so my last down, and you can mark that as a down if necessary. But so my last down is it's rained 20, and I fact checked this one personally, so I know 100% that this is true. It's rained 20 out of 27 days this month, and I'm tired of this rainy weather. But we're supposed to have a beautiful weekend for the regional, so I'm ready for it.
Yeah, I'm ready. Well, we always appreciate you coming by for 3 Up, 3 Down, Dr. Liggett. Can you tell us about cosmetic dentistry at River Valley Smile Center? I know you guys handle all kinds of cosmetic dentistry. People are interested in that.
We really do. From simple whitening to veneers to full mouth reconstruction, we really have a lot of different options. So if you're not happy with your smile for any reason, come see us. We'll do a workup for you and see what your options are, and we can definitely change your smile and make you look and feel your best.
I'm typing into a chat GPT search how many games have been played in Major League Baseball history. I can't wait to see what the answer is here. It's going to be, you're probably going to be right about this too. 3%. I mean, this is what Bubba does to me. You guys do this to me he does this to me on baseball broadcasts. He'll state some fact or ask a question, and I need to start researching. It's going to drive me crazy until I actually find the freaking answer. At River Valley Smile Center, you can call them at 479-646-0706. rivervalleysmiles.com to schedule your consultation today. And I am told that over 238,500 Major League Baseball games have been played in the history of the sport. So I got to now do the math about Dusty's near 3,500 games that he played. Thanks for ruining my day, Dr. Liggett. Always appreciate you.
Glad I could help.
877-377-6963 to stay with us on halftime. Got a couple lined up. We'll get to those calls in just a moment.
I saw you on the TV yesterday. Are you all natural? Do you dye your hair? Is it all you?
This is halftime.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text. Text BREAK to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text BREAK to 321-321. That's BREAK to 321-321.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
This is halftime.
All right, let's break someone's clavicle on 3. 1, 2, 3. Break someone's clavicle. Hit the field. Let's go. Move it. Move it.
Save up to $4,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com. Do you need closure on your garage? Call Grit Garage Doors. Whether it's a new door, a squeaky closing sound, a broken spring, or just off track, Grit is who you can trust. With an unheard of 15-year spring warranty option, Grit is the team you can trust. Call Grit. There's no door Grit can't close. Local team, local service with honesty and integrity. Call Grit Garage Doors. 479-430-3667. That's 479-430-DOOR. Old Ford Days action begins Memorial Day, and the Old Ford Days official merchandise is ready for you at Jelco Outdoors. Ball caps, t-shirts, koozies, drinkware, and more. Check out the selection of cowboy hats, boots, shirts, and belts. Hot buys on Ariat and Wrangler jeans. Buy 2 pair and get a 3rd pair free. Plus a free Old Ford Days rodeo cap with purchase. Go to the Old Ford Days Rodeo in style Check out the Old Fort Days official merchandise at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith. Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
The Solid Rock has been locally owned for over 46 years. When was the last time you were there? So much more than a bookstore. They have Christian t-shirts, church supplies, Bible studies, devotionals, home decor, gifts, and of course, a large selection of Bibles. And Bibles are engraved free of charge while you wait. Now, you can get custom laser engraving on select gift items and some Bibles. Located next to Sam's Club on South 74th, The Solid Rock is your source for faith-based books, music, clothing, and more. The Solid Rock, 452-4844.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
I've got to do a really quick segment here, so let's do it with a phone call on the Lewis Automotive Hotline from Bubba. It's not Bubba Carpenter, but it's a different Bubba. Bubba, what's up?
Me and Bubba had class together at U of A. Hey, man, I got the basis for the curse, and maybe we can shine some light on it and exercise that curse, but I got one of the biggest scoops you've ever had on the show. You ready?
Go for it.
Okay, 1984, I'm going back from Lake Norfolk to Fayetteville, and I want to impress my girlfriend, so I say, you want to go up there and meet Orville Faubus at that house up there? And she said, you can't do that. And I said, sure I can. My dad's the AG of the National Guard. I play football for the Hogs. Why can't we? So we drive up to the house and drive into the driveway. This old gray-haired man comes out. It's Doyle Faubus, is Orville's brother. And I tell him who I am, want to meet the governor. He says, well, follow me. We walk through the garage into the living room, out the sliding glass door. He sees walking on the grounds. Here comes Orville coming out of the orchard on top of the mountain behind his house. I introduce myself. I meet him. And I say, Governor Faubus, after a bit, I have the nerve to say, Governor Faubus, why did you do what you did at Little Rock High School? Why did you do that? And he said, well, let me tell you. I said, I had a conversation with the president that summer, and Ike said, Orville, you do what you got to do, and I'll do what I got to do. And that's a scoop nobody's ever known before, that Orville and Ike knew exactly how all that Little Rock crisis was going to play out. They all knew it. They knew it, all right? So the problem with that is, the curse for the Hogs is that Orville was elected by the people of Arkansas 5 more times after that happened. And I think that's the basis for the curse right there.
Yeah, I don't know, though, Bubba, because they've won a national title in 1994 in basketball, and just kind of plays against that. But I do appreciate the story and the effort. Thank you very much. We got a break. We'll be back, wrap up halftime's second hour in just a moment.
Exclusive coverage at the Fayetteville Regional, presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback, Arvest Bank, and Shelter Insurance agent Chris Dooley.
I mean, you couldn't ask for a better series than what we got right here.
Save up to $4,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover, for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith, or online at harryrobinson.com.
Largemouth bass will be spawning soon at ponds and lakes all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. One of the best lures to catch them on at this time is the famous Yum Dinger. We make them by the truckloads in Fort Smith in 3, 4, 5, and 6-inch sizes, and they are in tackle boxes of bass anglers all over the U.S. and all over the world. Wacky rigging the 5-inch model can't be beat for spawning bass. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Yum Dinger.
Do you need closure? On your garage, call Grit Garage Doors. Whether it's a new door, a squeaky closing sound, a broken spring, or just off track, Grit is who you can trust. With an unheard of 15-year spring warranty option, Grit is the team you can trust. Call Grit. There's no door Grit can't close. Local team, local service with honesty and integrity. Call Grit Garage Doors. 479-430-3667. That's 479-430-DOOR.
It's Kubota Orange Days at Gray Brothers Equipment with interest rates as low as 0% for 84 months and reduced pricing on all Kubota inventory. It's time for your new Kubota at Gray Brothers Equipment. That's Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon. Now through 6/30/25, see Gray Brothers Equipment or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information.
For 38 years, Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts has been trusted as your one-stop for all your vehicle's needs. Heat draining your battery? Get a great deal on a Superstart battery and any of the products you need for the do-it-yourself upkeep of your car or truck. When you need work done, Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts does everything from oil changes, brakes, alignments, diagnostic work, air conditioning, and more. That's Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts in downtown Mansfield, open from 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday until 1 o'clock on Saturdays.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Top CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050. COP CDL Academy.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Sold us for the likes of you. I always want to so.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Let's talk to Cecil here real quick before we get right up against the break. Cecil, we're kind of up against it. How you doing today?
It's okay, guys. I honestly was listening. I got the radio in another room in there, but I forgot about. I was on the radio, and then I heard it again. I'm like, oh, I'm still on. So, no, I just wanted to just mention the NBA. I'm glad Carter Knox is back. We're going to win a championship this year. I just feel it. And Oklahoma City will win their first championship in the city this year. New York, I'm riding with them. Matt, what you think? What do you think, Matt?
Man, I love Jalen Brunson. I'm big time. Think the world of that dude. I think Indianapolis is kind of a poor man's Oklahoma City. Like, they have depth. They got people the next guy off the bench is pretty good. And I think it's gonna go 7. I think that the two best words you can get in sports is game 7, and I think that's what you're gonna get with this series.
Well, I got a few numbers to throw at you here as we go into our third hour. Our Lewis Automotive Hotline, 877-377-6963. To get with us in our third and final hour of halftime. We got Matt Jones, we got Clay Henry, Bill King in about 20 minutes. So stay with us today.
No more taxes. Road Chevrolet in Van Buren will pay your state sales tax on select 24 and 25 model Chevrolets. Stop in today and check out the great selection from Road Chevrolet, and your state sales tax is paid. But you better hurry because this deal won't last long. Stop in and test drive your dream car, truck, or SUV and get your state sales tax paid. That means huge savings and more cash back into your pocket. Experience the Rhodes difference. Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway in Van Buren, where you get the best prices, period.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Every Thursday, take a trip down memory lane at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Joe's is bringing back the flavors you loved from Cuco's, the beloved restaurant that once called this place home. Join Joe's Grill and Cantina for Throwback Thursday and savor classic Cuco's dishes. It's the taste from the past with the vibrant atmosphere of Joe's. Don't miss out on the reunion every Thursday at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Come for the food, stay for the memories. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Hi, this is Lindsay White with White Office Machines. For over 90 years, my family's been serving the greater Fort Smith region with the image industry's newest technologies, as well as providing superior customer service through long-term business relationships. As the area's only authorized Kyocera document solutions dealer, White Office Machines provides the best value with high-speed copiers and the latest multifunction printers. Stop by our office in downtown Fort Smith or in Russellville. Follow us on Facebook or go to whiteoffice.com.
White Office Machines since 1929.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, showers and a chance of thunderstorms. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be into the low 70s north, upper 70s south. Later on tonight, we will see clouds, a chance of showers, and a few storms. Our overnight lows will drop down mid to upper 50s, and Wednesday, sunshine mid to upper 70s. I'm Stanley Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grain Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 95 days. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you. Well, ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Well, take it to the dump.
You said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
But they were one race back.
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Into our third hour, halftime 101. Good to be with you here on a very cloudy, overcast Tuesday. Weather's kind of going to be crappy, but this weekend it looks like the regional should have decent weather. Maybe not summertime weather, but good enough. Calls and texts on the Lewis Automotive Hotline always at 877-377-6963. Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio, about 15 minutes from right now. I think we had a little problem with Clay's connection, so working on getting Clay Henry back with us. Matt, it's the third hour of the show, and I know I'd mentioned it in the first segment, But we haven't even discussed Carter Knox pulling his name out of the NBA draft. He will be a Razorback once again. And, man, I guess there's no surprise here, but that's just quite a collection of talent that Cal's going to have his second year. And Knox may be the best of them, too.
You know, when you're not the primary ball handler, it's tough to kind of get going, or maybe even to see where you fit in. But yes, Carter Knox, not being a primary ball handler, I think is a top 20 player in all of college basketball next year. Phil, not just the SEC, but the whole college basketball landscape. I think Carter Knox did himself. I just don't see how he's not a lottery pick, a top 25 pick in next year's draft.
We've got Clay back here, too, who's been able to reboot. And
yeah,
is that 9 or 10 that we know are on the roster for next year? And still, we don't know the situation with the Dew because he could still pull his name out. I think there's a little more than 2 weeks that you have to pull your name out.
I thought that would be tomorrow. He's got to say. But hey, regardless, that was a major
That
coup.
was our best get, huh, of the year. I mean, that was it.
When I think of the future of Billy Richmond and Carter Knox, what we saw at the end of the year, I mean, they still made some freshman boo-boos, but they are terrific talents, and they are tenacious ballers. They're not scared of the moment, and I just know that over another summer and a fall, they are going to be two of the big dogs in the SEC next year. I mean, I just think that their ceiling is so far up there that we saw just a little touch of it. Rarely does a freshman have an impact like they did at the end of the year in the NCAA tournament.
Got a little misinformation on some of the. So there's somebody else texts in. D says you got to pull out of the draft by 11:59 tomorrow. The NBA's own draft page says NBA early entry withdrawal deadline 5 p.m. Eastern time, June 15th. So I don't know what to believe here because I got the NBA's own page here saying June 15th.
Well, I read 2 stories today saying it's tomorrow. So somebody's got different information, I guess.
Well, maybe there's a difference between early or like NBA early entry withdrawal. I don't know because it feels odd because we get two dates that people are pointing out here. Sterling's with us. Let's go to the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Sterling, what's up? How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great, and I want to holler at you about the tournament. I didn't see anything that the committee did that was. I think everything they did pretty good. I was shocked that Little Rock didn't come to Fayetteville because of how they tried to cut costs on travel, and that region would have been maybe one of the cheapest regions that I've ever seen on travel.
Hey, Sterling, we got a little issue with your connection. I'm going to put you on hold. Can you just call back? We'll put you right back on because I'm not understanding everything that it is that you're saying. So just call back. We'll put you right back on because the connection's not very good. The thing with Little Rock is they're still busing to Baton Rouge. I don't think the committee felt they had another place that would be whatever you think close is for North Dakota State. I think that's why Little Rock was sent where they were sent. I think they were going to go to Baton Rouge no matter what. I think they would have sent Oral Roberts to Fayetteville if the Golden Eagles would have beaten North Dakota State because it's so close. But I also don't think that there's another. It's not the word close isn't the proper word here. But I don't think there's another host that's any closer to Fargo where North Dakota State is located than Fayetteville. So when I think of it that way, it would make perfect sense for the committee to send Little Rock to Fayetteville for obvious reasons, but I think they have their other reasons. They've got reasons why it is that they chose the field that they chose. Sterling, we got you back. Try again.
Yeah, you touched on that first topic I asked about, and I was surprised by that. But thinking what you just said about the North Dakota State, I guess we are the closest one to them. And we had a couple, only 2 bid stealers this year. Nebraska, I don't believe they would have made a tournament without winning the Big Ten. And East Carolina,
I think Creighton may have been a bid stealer too. I don't think they would have gotten an at-large bid. They had the third best
They were on the outside looking in. Yeah,
they had the third best RPI in the Big East. They won the tournament. The other two teams that were in front of them, Xavier and UConn, didn't make it. So I think Creighton was a bid stealer too.
But I mean, what I'm saying is that Creighton and Xavier and UConn didn't make it. If one of them made it, then their league would have got the extra. You know what I'm saying? So the league
I get what you're saying. So the bid stealer in this case would be a 2-bid league like a Conference USA or a Big West or a Sun Belt or maybe even an American Conference that has 2 bids, where the team like thinking of American Conference, can't think of it, but like Big West, you get a couple of teams. No, that's Big 12. But I see what you're making. I think you make a good point too. A bid. If you're steal a bid, well, you got to come from a 2-bid league.
Right. That's where I'm coming from on that. But I thought the committee did good. You know, I mean, it's a part of me that kind of like Tennessee being paired with Tennessee. It's a part of me that hate it. So, you know, maybe you can be my psychiatrist and tell me why that is. But so I thought they did a good job there, and I can't wait. And you know, I'm just ready. I'm just ready for it. You know, we wait for it all year long, and I know we've been a couple of reasons we ain't got out, and the last couple of years, you know, when we lose those games, I'm like, I'm done with this. Why I'm giving myself this heartache? Why do I got to feel like this? Just stop and get out. But you know, when fall ball come around, I'm right back. I mean, it's like it never happened, and that's where I am now. Again, 365 days later, excited for 2:00 Friday afternoon. Y'all guys have a great day.
Yeah, and I'll feel the exact same thing, Sterling, walking into the park, getting ready for it, and all that excitement. And you'll remember you were there the same time last year and had all these reasons to feel good about it, and it didn't go your way. So the thing with Tennessee being lined up with them, I think that's just a product of having 8 SEC hosts. And 6 of them are in the top 8, so that leaves the other 2 somewhere in the back 8, and you ended up with one of them. But here's the thing. Arkansas's already beaten Tennessee 2 out of 3 in the same ballpark recently. It's not a matter of, so Arkansas played Vanderbilt back in March. Vandy seems to be a heck of a lot of a better team right now than they were in March. Otherwise, they wouldn't be the number 1 overall seed. Tennessee, back in March, well, they were number 1. Right now, Tennessee is what we saw in Fayetteville 2 weeks ago, a team with lots of power, a team that's got some starting pitching. I don't think they've got a very deep bullpen, and they don't play fundamentally sound baseball. So I would not mind at all playing Tennessee again. And I know anybody will say, and this is a cliche, that you can't beat a team twice. Well, you can. I've seen it happen before, and Ole Miss happened to do it to Arkansas softball team this year, so it can happen twice. Jamie in Fayetteville, Jamie in Dallas, you're next. What's up, Jamie? How are you?
I'm great. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Just wanted to lean into this. Number one, on the NBA.com, it says June 15th. I had repeatedly heard May 28th, just like you. But
well, I'm here. Hold on, real quick. I just want to give the information. People are texting me in, Jamie, and then you keep going. A couple people have texted in. There's 2 deadlines. One of them for the NCAA to come out of the draft, and then the NBA deadline. So the NBA.com website has their deadline. The deadline that Clay's talking about, that some of our other listeners are talking about, is an NCAA deadline, and that obviously matters if you're going to, play for an NCAA affiliated team.
Exactly. So, with that being said, just, kind of the whole outside looking in, we got a new thing there with Calipari. Obviously, it's going to be a little different process. I know Muss was pretty aggressive in a different way with the portal and stuff early, but, you look at these kids, right? They have no reason to be in a hurry, anymore. They're getting paid as much, if not more, than a lot of them will be as rookies. Boogie Flan just handled this thing so badly on his own, not to really say that I ever believe he's a first-round player or an NBA player because of his frame to begin with. But then you go, Knox, I think he played it well. Thero would be better served by coming back to Arkansas and actually playing in an NCAA tournament. He's been in 3 NCAA tournaments while he's in college. He's played a total of 7 minutes in the NCAA tournament, meaningful minutes. he should come back. There would be the opportunity to play some lineups where you play Brazil at the 4, Brazil at the 5, Thero at the 4, Knox, maybe Richmond, and one of the two, one of the two freshmen or Wagner. That's a huge team all over, so you can you can really run up and down the court. And they have a chance to really just run 10 people at you if he comes back, all of what OKC is doing, all of Rick Pitino at the end of Kentucky when he had, 7 first-rounders or something because of the way he just ran them at you. I think that's what Arkansas is on the verge of. I think Thero would be better served by doing that than going into the NBA as a second-rounder. Hopefully it's a good fit. Hopefully somebody is patient enough to accept him as maybe a Andrew Wiggins-type player. Maybe he can develop a set shot. Maybe he can defend multiple positions, whatever. Maybe. There's a lot of maybes in there. That in between him and a second contract that is of meaningful money in the NBA. And my biggest point is these kids have got to figure out that they don't need to be in a hurry. They need to go right, not right now. Anyway, that's what I got.
I think you make a really good point. And in today's age where you make some money playing in college, certainly basketball at Arkansas, you're going to be making, I would think, more on average than any other team. It does make some sense. Matt, you're
making more than a second rounder.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
That's kind of
all of that is true. It is also true that a player that has hurt his knee and has a chance to go to the NBA, and you just look back at what happened to Michael Qualls. It is a scary thing when it's your body. We're on the outside looking in. We don't know what it's like to sit and wonder if you're going to play again. And if he's healthy now and he can go to an NBA team, that's what he's thinking. I'm not saying what's right or wrong. I'm telling you that's what he's thinking.
Clay, I know in football that if you get a first round grade, they will actually pay for your insurance policy on you. You know, the catastrophic injury. Do they do that? I'm sure they do that in basketball as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, I have heard all kinds of words about how those policies come to fruition. In other words, the insurance companies, they fight you tooth and nail. I mean, it isn't, okay, you're not able to play now, we're sending you the money. I mean, there's all kinds of second opinions. It is not a cut and dry thing.
I also wonder what the conversations are like with Adu and pro scouts, general managers, whomever it is at the combine and outside of the combine that he's been talking to. You know, if you're going to be honest about these things, do you tell somebody, this is your chance. Now is your chance. If you don't go into the draft now, well, you're probably not going to get any better. Your draft stock isn't going to get any better, and you may miss out on the draft next
What's
year.
your ceiling? Right. I mean,
after a third year, this is his third year. This may be the ceiling of where the draft can be for him. Even if he comes back, has a great season next year, there's no more it's the same as a baseball player that's coming out of college as a senior. You just don't have any negotiating power. I mean, it's, you're going to be a first round pick. You're going to make a certain amount of money. And if you come off as all world in that last year, maybe there's competition for your services. But I just don't think that his draft stock gets any better than what it is now.
He is definitely athletic enough to play in the NBA. So I'm comparing him to Ricky Council IV that we saw. That's kind of it's a very similar type of player. He's not as good as what Ricky Council was. He doesn't have a good enough shot. Now, is he athletic? Yes, both of those dudes are athletic enough to play up there. You got to be elite, man. If you're not built like a pterodactyl, you have to have a couple different superpowers. If it is your athletic ability, if it's your vision, if it's like unlimited range, he doesn't have it. He has to keep working on his craft.
And the players that are coming in, is he better than them?
Right.
I mean, you have to look at. And Boogie is like, how many minutes am I going to get in that backcourt? That's why he left. He didn't, that's why he's not coming to Arkansas. It's like the incoming players, and you don't know what's going to happen. And he's listening to an agent. Let's just be honest. That agent's telling him what to do. And those guys want their money. And it's, the family's been getting money from them, I'm sure. it is not an easy equation, and it is uncomfortable for me to tell this guy, you come back because you're going to help our team. That's not what he should be thinking. He should be thinking only, not that he can be in a 10-man rotation. That's not what a player wants to hear. You're going to be in a 10-man rotation. No, you want to be in a 28-minute rotation.
Right.
The fact that he may only play 18 or 19 minutes, that's not what he wants to hear.
Well, here's something everybody wants to hear, especially if you love seafood and you live in Northwest Arkansas. Fish City Grill has amazing specials still going on throughout the rest of the month of May. Just got a few days to enjoy Peruvian cobia tacos. Comes with Amarillo pepper crema, verde slaw, pickled red onion, cilantro, and roasted sweet corn. Seared Ora King salmon with garlic herb butter veggies. This is the Wagyu of the sea. And smoked trout dip with lemon cheese, sour cream, red onion, and served with crackers. That's at Fish City Grill, 2003 South Bellevue Road in Rogers, 479-636-8833 for pickup or delivery, and fishcitygrill.com, the website. Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio joins halftime right after this break.
I think it's your girlfriend called.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Mandy White Perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Taco Bell brought back crispy chicken nuggets, and I can't believe how good they are.
Why can't you believe it?
Because you're Taco Bell. Taco Bell.
Yeah, but a taco place can do nuggets, right?
Yeah, the Hidden Valley Fire Ranch is awesome.
Okay, they're good, but we're not a chicken place.
When did you guys become a chicken place?
Chicken? Can't a taco place do good nuggets? Are we not allowed to do both?
What do you mean?
You think it's cool to do both, right? Why are you looking at me like that?
Are they okay?
I don't think so.
We're totally a taco place that's a chicken place that's also a taco place.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge. And when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Sit down all day. I need to sit though.
Finally make a putt. Let's go tap in pars.
Golf is back. Shop polos, hoodies, and Q-zips at Rhoback.com.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season is in full swing and we're into the NBA and NHL playoffs, and BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from the MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC, BetOnline remains the best online source for all your sports wagering information. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. Bet Online, the game starts here.
6116. It's quick, it's easy, and in most cases, free with your insurance. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Open 6 days a week to care for you and your family.
Evan Cohen here. It's time to turn things up a notch. This summer, don't binge watch shows. Binge s'mores by the campfire. Press pause on the podcast and press play on the warm weather vibes. Here's your chance to win $10,000 for your ultimate summer. What are you waiting for? Take your shot with 5 Hour Energy and make this summer your best summer ever. Visit 5heshot.com for full details and rules and to enter today. No purchase necessary. Ends June 30th, 2025.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
Southern nights. Have you ever felt a southern night? Free as a breeze, not to mention the trees, whistling tunes that you know and love so. Southern nights, just as good even when closed your eyes. I apologize to anyone who can truly say that he has found a better way.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio, hosting 6 to 9 Monday through Friday on WNSR. Joining us here on a Tuesday. Bill, of course, the king of college football talk. And it looks like we don't have Bill at the moment. So we're working on getting Bill. I know he made a 30. I texted him just about 5 minutes ago telling him that we'd be late. He said he was ready for us. So I'm assuming that we'll be.
How do you I want to ask
Yes?
Bill this question, Phil, and we were talking about it, but how do you see this Arkansas baseball program? Because I don't see it as a curse. I see it as a very successful program, just like Oregon football. Oregon football hasn't won a national title. Oregon football is really, really good, really, really successful. That's kind of how I see Arkansas baseball.
I mean, I think that's a legitimate comparison. It's two programs that haven't just been near the top of the sport and have clawed their way to very close to it, but have been there for a while now.
That's consistency. Yeah.
But you're still waiting for that glory moment.
That breakthrough.
The breakthrough of winning a national title. Oregon did play for one, didn't they?
They got beat by Auburn, I think, with Cam Newton. Was that
Mariota?
That was the. Was that Mariota? I know that was Gus Malzahn. Whenever that Auburn Cam Newton, they beat Oregon for the national title.
Yeah.
Well, I got a baseball. First of all, this baseball team, I like it a lot, and I think it's the most balanced team. You know, they've got good pitching. They've got pretty good bullpen, and I wonder, if the only thing is Parker Coyle really hitting his stride after coming back from injury. That he's the kind of missing ingredient, that extra lefty. I don't think Hunter Dietz is there yet. He's not able to go out and give you, like 2 innings in an elimination game, so to speak. And I mean, that's what you have to look for. But they've got more offense, and they are really good defensively. And so I think they've got the balance to do well in this tournament. What have you seen from Parker Coyle the last couple of times he's thrown?
Just the one game that he pitched in Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge. That's it.
All he did. It was a
not enough.
He faced 2 batters. That's why I would have liked to see them at least win a game in Hoover, because I think
he get another timeout. Yeah,
that's right. Looks like we got Bill with us here. Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio, the king of college football talk. Bill, we got into just a moment ago, just trying to. Like you're a college baseball guy, you're a college football guy. Is a comparison for Arkansas baseball into football? Would Oregon football be a proper comparison? And how do you understand Arkansas baseball as a college baseball fan?
Oh, boy. The 2010 Oregon quarterback was Deron Thomas.
Okay.
Back then. That was 2010. Boy, that's a very good, I don't really, no, because I think that Arkansas baseball has deeper tradition. Oregon's tradition, we can take it back some, but there's not a lot of historic Oregon moments, let's say from Chip Kelly, before Chip Kelly, that are prominent for me. I wouldn't really compare them. So we've got a baseball program that's as good as any in the country, Arkansas, but they have not won a national championship. That would be the comparison.
Yeah, we're just the last 20 years, since 2000.
Yeah.
That's kind of all that's all you're kind of trying to equate it. Like I don't know if there's a basketball school, because Syracuse ended up winning one, but is there a basketball school that is just every year they're up there in the top 20? Because that's the consistency you get with Arkansas baseball.
Auburn.
I think part of it has to do with the idea. Look at the league Oregon was in before. Nobody had that respect for the Pac-12 that they might for the Big Ten now. When you are as good as the Hogs have been in the SEC in regular season baseball, that's where I can see a disconnect between Arkansas and Oregon football, because Pac-12 is not the best conference in football, and SEC is the best by far. Like, there's no comparison. And for the Razorbacks,
you want a baseball comparison?
Yes.
Mississippi State before 2021.
Sure. Yes, that's legit too. Yeah, under Coach Polk for all those years, and even under John Cohen as the head coach. That's exactly right. And then there's the belief it's soon time, it's going to get there. You'll get there. I mean, we've got people thinking that Arkansas athletics are cursed, or that the Arkansas fan base is cursed, but there are national championships in basketball in people's recent memory to point that out. You look at Mississippi State. They've won one national championship in the history of their school, and it was the 2021 baseball. So, I mean, that's why I don't believe in curses.
And by the way, just a little side note, that Mississippi State team that won it all got run ruled twice in the SEC tournament by Florida and Tennessee, like 13-1 and 11-1 or something.
And lost the series to a bad Missouri team near the end of the regular season. So it's like, go try to figuring this tournament out.
No doubt.
Well, we got SEC meetings right now in Sandestin, Bill, and that's, I mean, in college sports, that's going to be at the forefront, probably ahead of college baseball, just on a national scale and a grand scale and everything, especially when it's the SEC that's out here talking, and you got Sankey saying, I got members of my conference that are wondering why we're even part of the NCAA. And it's just, right now it kind of feels like this is, and I've never felt like this before when we've talked about meetings. Maybe during the season you can feel about it. But it feels like this is SEC versus everybody else. The way they're talking about strength of schedule, and they're pointing that towards the Big Ten, and they're pointing that towards Indiana. This is SEC versus the world right now, Bill.
In that press conference Sunday, and there were some clips, and I've never heard Sankey. He's not real animated vocally, but he seemed a little bit more agitated when he was saying stuff like, I don't need to be lectured by anybody else about the betterment of the game. And frankly, we didn't need to go to 12. Where's the betterment of the game there? We didn't need 12. We would have had 2 in a 4-teamer this year. I've never heard him get that personal. It's getting chippy, guys. It's getting really chippy. And there's going to be a bunch of leagues other than the SEC and the Big Ten. They get their feelings hurt when they do demand, and they will get, because they have all the power, automatic qualifiers when it comes to 4 teams. He said, heck, we may even be hurting ourselves. There'd be some years maybe we'd get 5 in a 16-teamer. It's going to get ugly.
You know, the committee with baseball, and I look at the selections, and a lot of these things make sense to me because I'm looking at their RPI numbers, and I think the committee, they're not going straight RPI, but they use that as a tool. Does the college football playoff committee have any kind of analytical tool, or do they just go to like ESPN FPI and go off of that? Because I think it would help. And that goes along with the idea of, I've seen some people advocate for this, and I know you've been a BCS guy for a long time, but the BCS didn't work under a 2-team structure. Wouldn't that computer model work in a 12 or 14 or 16 team structure? I think it would work.
I think it would. They're not going to ever do that, but it absolutely would, and I would endorse it. But that committee is old school, and they've got all the tools and analytics and anything you want to go by. I think they go by probably the look test and the comparison test and all that a bit more, but we're stuck with it for now.
Hey, Bill, when I was looking at these top 16 seeds, and the top 8, you get to host a regional, then a super if you get through. But looking at that next 8, who do you like the best if you were to say, hey, this would be one team that you think could win it all in Omaha out of that second 8? It'd be Florida State at 9, Ole Miss 10, Clemson, Oregon, Coastal Carolina, Tennessee, UCLA, Southern Miss are that second 8.
Well, I was going to say Florida, but that doesn't fit your category. They're not hosting. I would say I might pick Tennessee, but they've got to, if they win, and that's not a given in the regional, they'd have to go to Arkansas. I do not see them taking a series there. Not the way these two teams are playing. And
Arkansas bounced back this year. The last 2 years, we've struggled at home in regionals. And is there any of that that's in the back of the coaches or the players' mind? Do you think it's just new year, new slate, don't even think about it? Arkansas gets through regionals this year, huh?
Yep. I don't think so. I mean, if things go bad early, maybe here we go again, gets in your head a little bit. But no, I think there's too much talent at Arkansas for that to happen. And the Vanderbilt, this is the best. Speaking of 2021, this is the best I've seen Vanderbilt play since that year, and they were in the final game against Mississippi State with Kumar Rocker on the mound, and he got rocked in that game. But this Vanderbilt team is way different than the team that we saw about 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, and I kind of thought that whoever won the tournament, the SEC tournament, was going to be the overall number 1 seed as long as they finished in the top probably 5 in the SEC regular season standings. Now, when we left Nashville, Bill, I thought to myself, man, Vanderbilt's got a ways to go. They had no power. They weren't hitting at all. They had decent pitching, but it's shocking to see how Corbin has that team playing as well as they are, and it's without hitting for a lot of power. And that's the thing about Vanderbilt this year compared to some other seasons, and you just brought up some of the pitching, but they've always had guys that can just pop it over the fence. And that's not what this Vanderbilt team is, but it doesn't keep them from winning games against good teams too. Like they swept Georgia. They took 2 out of 3 from Tennessee. I mean, but Arkansas showed them what it was about in March. But May is not March.
Pitching has been phenomenal too. You mentioned it. They go deep, whether it's the starting pitching, and some of the strikeouts they were getting against Tennessee. Tennessee was missing. The barrel was missing the ball by 6 inches on these strikeouts. I don't know if maybe I just haven't noticed. I've never seen that before. Not even close.
That's something else. Last thing, Memorial Day, and I saw, was it a 35-pound brisket that you had in the smoker? How did that go?
Well, I bought that much. It was 2 different briskets, and I just had one of them on. So it was about 17 pounds. Went perfect. Very, very good. We still got some, and then we got another one for this next weekend.
When do you do turkey gumbo? When is the turkey gumbo? Is that always around Thanksgiving? Or you do that earlier?
It's around Thanksgiving. I have to either do it the week before, the week after, or the wife kicks me out of the kitchen. So it's the way I go.
Bill, let's leave it there. I appreciate you hopping on. And at some point, you're gonna have to ship us some brisket, okay?
No worries. No worries. Thanks, guys.
Bill King, king of college football talk, the prince of college baseball talk, and the Duke of the Smoker.
Chef Kiss, yeah.
That's right. 877-377-6963. Don't forget about lurenet.com. If you're looking to get your favorite lures from Pradco at the click of a button, lurenet.com has all the brands you're thinking of: Rebel, Yum, Booyah, and more. And this site includes exclusive deals and baits that you don't find anywhere else, and free shipping on U.S. orders up to $35. That's lurenet.com, place to find all your new tackle box treasures. You can also get with us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, 877-377-6963 on the home stretch, and we're back after this.
You don't have to worry, kid.
I ain't gonna kill you. You're the only friend I got.
This is Halftime.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
The Old Fort Days Rodeo begins Memorial Day, and Jelco Outdoors is ready to get you and the family ready for the largest sporting event of the year in the River Valley. Save up to $30 off on select Western boots by Ariat, Durango, Justin, or Watson, Tony Lama, and Twisted X. Buy 2 pair of Ariat or Wrangler jeans and get a 3rd pair free. Plus, receive an Old Fort Days ball cap free with purchase. Jelco Outdoors, the Old Fort Days official merchandise store. Get ready for the rodeo at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing, and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Hey everyone, Braden Webb here at AAA Business Systems in Northwest Arkansas. You may remember me from my days playing baseball for the Hogs. Now I'm hitting home runs for AAA Business Systems and enhancing the ways company do business in our area. If you want to partner with the best office technology provider in Northwest Arkansas, call me today at 479-442-4185. Let's win together, and remember, anything else is just a copy.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
It's the time of the season. Love runs high. In this time, give it to me easy. And let me try with pleasured hands. Take you in this promised land to show you everyone. Season for love.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, we're in the home stretch here of halftime. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, the one and only All-Star Hall of Famer Clay Henry, and the C Unit, Kristen Johnston. Let's see. Hall of Fame birthdays today. Jackie Slater, remember Jackie Slater, Hall of Fame tackle for the Rams, 69.
Your boy today, bad event, but Christopher Reeves, when he got his neck, it happened today.
That was today?
Yep.
Man, he's always Superman to me.
Always Superman. That's right.
I don't even know the name of the actor that's
Made,
although the new Superman looks like it might be pretty good.
1995 was when that happened. Yeah.
Who's Superman? Because Christopher Reeve is Superman to me. And Clay, who's Superman to you? Was it Christopher Reeves or was it the other guy, whose last name was also Reeves, if I remember correctly?
Oh, I mean it's Reeves.
Either one of them. But I don't even remember. Was it Tom Holland? Did he play Superman in the one from like?
I know they had
ago?
a Nick Cage one that was coming out. It was going to kind of have a little bit of a Batman feel to it.
I remember this when that was going down, Matt, because Tim Burton they were going to film that in Pittsburgh. Had a bunch of friends of mine that were actors because the school I went to was an acting school, and they all thought they were going to get little bit parts in it, and then it ended up the movie never occurred.
These pretzels are making me thirsty.
The right answer is Clark Kent.
Well, that's true. So you're not playing Superman. You're playing Clark Kent, and then
that's
he just
right.
turns in Superman. That's right.
Yeah.
A couple other Hall of Famers.
I just like it. Yeah.
Frank Thomas and Jeff Bagwell turned 57 today. Hall of Famers. Thomas is one of two Hall of Famers ever to come out of the SEC. And
Paul Bettany, he's in A Beautiful Mind. He's the Russell Crowe's other guy that he sees. He's in.
Isn't he the imaginary friend in he
never ages. That's how he figures it out. Yeah.
Thank you, Seth. It was Henry Cavill who played Superman in the most recent.
There you go.
See, I didn't even remember him. He didn't even really look like a Superman.
No. Yeah, I don't go there.
I don't even remember who played Lois Lane because Margot Kidder will always be Lois Lane. And C Unit. We've talked about one of these actors for one of your halftime homeworks before. In fact, he may have been in that great Western starring Clint Eastwood, who played Lex Luthor in the Superman that I'm referring to, which I think came out in 1977. Who was this actor?
Lex Luthor in the
What's your number one answer you give to everybody when we ask you who the actor is? Just go with that one.
I think he's going to say John Lennon and Paul McCartney, Matt. I'm a little worried he's going to associate all of these questions with the Beatles. Played Little Bill in that great Western movie called...
I noticed you shaved your chin whiskers. Yeah, I was tasting the soup 3 hours later.
He's the one who referred to the Duck of Death.
The Duke, I'd say.
He was also the basketball coach in Hoosiers.
Gene Hackman.
That guy.
Gene Hackman.
I wasn't going to say it. I wanted to say it.
Gotta let him get there.
Wasn't my question, though. Yeah.
If anybody can't remember that it was Hackman who played Coach Normandale in Hoosiers, you're not allowed to breathe air anymore. That's the only one. You always remember that's the one. You can't remember Unforgiven. You're not going to remember The Replacements.
Not Nick Nolte in Blue Chips.
Of course not. He's not going to remember, what was the movie he did with Wes Anderson? He played the father. Anyway, you're only going to remember that. You're only going to remember that last one. That's good. Well, at least you remember him. That's right. Gene Hackman was also, of course, in that movie. Danny Werfel is 51.
Number 21. He got to wear a big time number. No, that was Heath Schuler. I'm so sorry. Heath Schuler was the one that got to wear 21 as a quarterback. I always thought that was odd.
I don't know the number that Danny Werfel wore at Florida.
So, Christian, I got a question for you. Movie question.
Oh, gosh.
What is the greatest movie, and there was 2 of them, that was set close to where you're sitting now? There was 2 of them.
The Dude Abides, he was one of them. He played in the second one, and then a rock star.
Elvis?
Well,
the title of the movie begins with the word that is the opposite of false.
You got it.
Oh, True Grit.
There we go.
Yo, see, there he goes.
There we go. Thank you, Christian.
That was too good of a hint. I'm sorry, Clay.
It was
Everyone
pretty
good
good hint. Yeah, that's the greatest movie set to close to the place you're sitting right now.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, good. Glad you remembered that one. Well, so who can help us out with the number that Danny Werfel?
Seven. I think it was 7.
That's a last name that I just don't like saying. Werfel.
I think he was 7.
Danny Werfel. I remember watching Danny Werfel and thinking, that is not the prettiest spiral that I've ever seen. But goodness, it lands exactly where it's supposed to land
Really
every
accurate.
single time.
Yep. It wasn't over the top. It was kind of 3/4, wasn't it, lefty? Wasn't he
He was
lefty?
a righty. He was a
Was
righty.
he a righty?
He was right-handed.
Yeah. He did.
But
He kind of he slang it a little bit. That was a lot of talent, man. Was that Ike Hilliard? I mean, you start looking at some of those receivers he had, and a lot of those dudes played on Sundays.
Well, and also a national champion against a hated rival when they beat Florida State in the Sugar Bowl in '97. I mean, it's like Alabama and Auburn playing for a national title, right? It's like Alabama and Georgia also.
With the kick
maybe not
six.
quite like Alabama and Georgia because we're talking in-state here. I was going to look at some of the guys that he was throwing to that season. Yeah, Werfel throwing to, let's see, Rydell Anthony led them in receptions and
He played on
touchdown
Sundays.
receptions. Yeah. Jaquez Green, Ike Hilliard. You were right about
Both of
those guys.
dude.
And your boy Fred Taylor was on that team too.
Freddie Taylor told me a story about how he was. This is before NIL. Fred Taylor, one of my favorite teammates ever. Just awesome dude. I don't have any, love that dude. We were sitting there and he was talking about, I was committed to Florida State. Bobby Bowden, I was going to Florida State, and the day before signing, a bag showed up at my house. Like then I went to Florida.
What was in the
Florida.
bag? Somebody's dirty laundry, huh?
Somebody's bag. It's the whites.
Imagine how that happened. Hey, we're right up against it. Let's break. We'll come back and wrap up the show in just a moment.
Exclusive coverage at the Fayetteville Regional, presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback, Arvest Bank, and Shelter Insurance agent Chris Dooley.
I mean, you couldn't ask for a better series than what we got right here.
Up to $10,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off, or lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer EV with hands-free driving assistance and go 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds for as low as $900 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Doctors, nurses, and other medical professionals are just people. They've got their lives and families same as you and me. But what happens when big hospitals and insurance companies ask too much of them and make them work too many hours without enough help? You can only stretch something so far before it breaks and people get hurt or even die. That's where I come in. If the healthcare system in our area has hurt you or someone you love, call me. Together, let's make them do healthcare better. I'm Phil Votaw, and you've never met a lawyer like me.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Is your business's IT infrastructure secure? At Dixie Digital, we provide comprehensive managed IT services to ensure your systems are running smoothly and your data is protected. Combine that with Xerox, Brother, and Epson reliable printers and copiers, and you've got everything you need for success. Call us today at 783-6600 to learn more about our IT services and special offers. Dixie Digital Imaging, your trusted partner for IT and document management.
The Hit That Line Now app fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it. Like that. Ask your phone. Group chat. Smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time. No waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696 and manage your diabetes as easy as...
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Went down over Pompeii. On both sides of I was broken. Oh mama, I'm the one trying to hide this damage done. One day, all our secrets will be spoken as we slow.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Hey, if you're craving anything sweet and delicious, since you just had lunch, you got Andy's Frozen Custard all around our listening audience. They're in Northwest Arkansas. They're in Conway, Fort Smith, North Little Rock, with the greatest frozen treats around. Ask about the Pick 6. Great for sharing with family and friends or saving for later. You pick 6 hand-packed, half-pint, freeze-crate cups of delicious frozen solid custard blended with fan-favorite toppings and flavors and available at every Andy's Frozen Custard walk-up or drive-through, always ready to serve you. Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast ready to go in just a few minutes. Ruskin and Zach down to, I think, Ruskin right now. Zach's out for the week. They'll be coming up at 2 o'clock. Don't forget about Friday at 2 o'clock game, 1:30 airtime as Arkansas opens up the NCAA Regionals against North Dakota State. Hogs win that game. They'll play 8 in the evening Saturday night against the winner of Kansas and Creighton. So maybe get a little more into Kansas and Creighton tomorrow because my guess, Clay and Matt, is that the Hogs will be playing against Kansas. It's the only team in this regional that has the kind of power that I think you need in order to get through. They also have some pitching. Their team ERA is 5, but they've thrown 7 shutouts. So this is a team that's got a little bit of everything.
Let's go. I mean, we've only played them in basketball and football over the last few years, so why not?
What's more vicious, a Jayhawk or a Blue Jay?
Blue Jays are really mean-spirited. Is a Jayhawk even
They are.
really a bird?
Yeah.
Is a Jayhawk a real bird?
Blue Jays are vicious. They're nasty. Yeah.
Yeah, they're mean, and they'll let you know about it too. Like those are some of the those are really loud ones. That's right. So we've got a Jayhawk, we've got a Blue Jay, we've got a Razorback, and a Bison in this tournament. I think North Dakota State used to be. I think they used to be. Were they fighting Sioux, or is that South Dakota State? Because I remember Arkansas played North Dakota. Gosh, I filled in for Chuck for this series. This must have been 2012 or 13, and they didn't have a team name. They were just North Dakota State. was either that or it was North Dakota, and I can't remember which one was which.
Yeah, so Creighton, they had the ambidextrous pitcher that came in here, right? Was it Creighton?
Oh, that was Mississippi State.
Well, no,
I
but
remember.
Creighton had one too, I believe. That might
I
have
don't-
been
I never saw him.
that might have predated your that might have been
That
their
would have.
Chuck's days, yeah.
Yeah, that would have. I've only seen one of them. It was that Gerangelo Cincha with Mississippi State. He was drafted last year. Well, we got Clay with us tomorrow from noon till 2. Also talking with Grant Hall tomorrow at 11:15, and that's what halftime will be like tomorrow. Should be a great rest of the day. So for Matt Jones, for Christian Johnston back in our studios, and Hall of Famer Clay Henry, I'm Phil Elson. Thanks for listening to Halftime. And now stay tuned for Ruskin coming up next here on ESPN Arkansas. Get up, get out, and get better.